Okay. Good afternoon. We are here to bring research and innovation to you, all Yoruba youth and home. So we have some guests here that we are going to discuss about the innovation and how we can improve in our nation and how we can improve, to make our economy and some other item work for Yoruba nation. We have our guest here, Mr. Ajala, Alex Ajala. Mr. Alex Ajala, can you please introduce yourself to the house, please, so the house can know yourself, please?
I'm happy for you having me tonight again. I will always be with you because it's important that we share what we all collectively know to make a sound whole for the future of our great Yoruba nation, the sovereignty of which we are seeking currently. And I hope you'll be following our discussions on the blueprint that we are developing for making our new nation to be effective and famous in terms of development, in terms of growth, in terms of achievement, and in terms of proper management of whatever resource we do have. So I have been through several parts of the world, well traveled. I would say I have been to school. That's why I'm able to speak the English language the Europeans left behind. And I do speak our language too. Mo gbọ́ èdè wa. So, ìyẹn ò ń ṣe nǹkan tó le. But because we want the world to know that we are trying to develop this things, most of the time we have to speak English language because we are not just calling for sovereignty, we are calling for growth and development and contribution into innovations of the future through understanding the innovations of the past, and that we are capable of doing things for ourselves and not a rabble-rousing people, a banana republic, of which we are not. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for having you here once again. The Yoruba youths in diaspora and in Nigeria, they are really happy to have you here, to discuss about innovation and some research and innovation about the Yoruba 9 and how to improve our economy, and to improve in ed sector and in school and its agriculture. So we are glad to have you here to enlighten the youth what we need to do. There are some items we need to put in place to make things work fine for Yoruba land. Once again, you are welcome and we are really happy to have you here. Once again, before we start, I'm going to use this opportunity to greet people at home with their watching us, watching this program presently. We use this platform to thank you for your time. Always dedicate yourself to watch our program. But before we start, we're going to love you to help us inform people about much this program, because you educate most of our people at home, even in diaspora, about our culture and our heritage. We do educate people about who you are, because most of us, we Yoruba, we've already forget our heritage and who you are. So we will always use this platform to educate ourselves to know who you are as a Black man, as a Black Africa, because as a Black Africa, you are the bright and the Oko Adulawo. So we still need some people to join our platform. We still need some professionals to join our platform so we can move the platform forward. We need any professional, any kind of professional, you can join us. You can go on our social media. You can contact us through the number on our social media to join the group. And we still have some, even though you don't have any professional, we train people up in some professional, like cybersecurity, so many aspects, and we train people about it. So we just come up, link us with up, so we can just give you the link and what you need to know about this Yoruba Global Youths. let me say this one again. We still need some youth to join us to come on board so we can move this thing forward. Thank you, everybody. You have our father here, so we are going to be discussing about our innovation and research. But before we start, we have some topic we're going to ask for him about the free education. We're going to discuss about the free education today, most especially. So how we Yoruba can benefit free education and how we can work it out for our people from primary school to the higher institution. So we're going to call on Mr. Ajala right now so he can just brief us with Yoruba, our headers and our leader are for the youths, all home and abroad, to benefit from the Yoruba nation.
Yeah, I like what you just said because you really hit the summary on the head. When we are talking of education, let me just give a brief surmise. Most of the people who are in government today attended free education and they did not pay for their university education. Most of them. So, but now the youths of present day from the 1970s are made to suffer. It's like the people who are leading us now, I will not say they are leading, they are stealing our future. That's the right word. Those of them who are stealing our future in the name of governance are denying us the right of sovereignty. And one of it is the basic free education and free health. Every country in the world that has developed started from that basis. There's no country, even the communist country, they have free education provided for their citizens. There's hardly any country here in Britain too. Children don't pay anything until they are qualified to go to university. They attend school, and they even are given free transport. You see, it means with Nigeria and many other African countries, we are in denial of the rights of the people. It's the right of a person to have education, to have access to health services. If you don't do that, you are destroying that nation, and which is happening in almost every African country. Some of them partially try to do a few things that will lead to maybe allowing the larger population access to free health and free education. And when you are talking about free health, there's something rolling in my mind. If you're having free health, you must have water, clean water, potable water in your homes. Let's leave that apart. Let's face, like I said last time, let us talk about education. Let us talk about what type of education do we need? What is the direction of the education we want to provide to our people? And because we are a new beginning, and we cannot reinvent the wheel, we have to make sure that our curriculum in education, which is free, has to be geared towards a science base. And that science base has to be geared towards our development. And that development has to be geared towards being able to provide the basic infrastructures for growth, which everybody must have access to. And in trying to provide free education, you see, it's all linked, food. And if you are not healthy, you cannot be educated. That means health services.
Yes,
so that's why I said those three key points: free health, free education, and agricultural development. They are centered, and all of that is critical infrastructure. So when we want to start now, we have to be able to provide nursery schools, useful nursery schools for mothers so that those mothers can go to work. You understand that? Nursery school that to cover that aspect of the early years of the child. Take note of that. And in the primary school, because we don't want our children to get lost on the way, we have to provide an avenue for the parents to be able to be responsible for taking them to school and back. And schools should not be more than a kilometer from the homes of the children.
Sure.
All these things are supposed to be part of the free package of the education. You know why? So that parents can easily go and pick their children from school to home and then have enough time for homework and other things. And one important thing in this society, in our society, storytelling should be part of the educational system. And in every community, there should be what we call a storyteller. It will be one of those. Storytelling will be somebody will be telling people about things that are being done. It's not fake storytelling, although literally you will be able to include the fun of understanding imagination of people. That is part of the education. The creativity of the mind, and that will lead to science and technology. And if you know now, if you look at the world today, most of the fictional scientific narratives are now become realities. So that we should also develop in our Yoruba land, to be able to know how to harness the powerful energy of each individual. That is why the foundation, the core foundation of our education should be an education that has a curriculum that is geared towards development. And to do that, you now have to compartmentalize subjects into areas, but they are all in unity. The history, the geography, the science, and the technology, the artwork. What I mean by artwork, that is handwork, creating things, and maintenance policy should be part of the initial growth of our education, which even Taishola did. Most of the students from year one know how to do plumbing, electrical systems. They are taught all those things, so that by the time they are leaving school, they are not just having degrees, but they are having a total package of skills. So our education should also become one that is skill-based. That's why I said curriculum-based, that is geared towards development. So skill-based, to have good tailors, good engineers, good mechanics who understand how to do things. For example, in 1976, the World Bank tried to find locations for the haberdashers of Europe and America. Haberdashers are people who make dresses in various forms, fashion designers, creating new materials, and also they found that the nearest location to Europe is Western Nigeria. That the Western Nigerian environment has a large population of highly educated young men and women, right from primary school, and that they wanted to move their industries to Western Nigeria. Why did they not do it? Because Nigeria was an unstable place. Western Nigeria was good, but Nigeria was an unstable place. See, that's what we've been suffering all along. Most of us know this. We will tell our elders, look, there's no reason for us to continue to be part of a Nigeria that is destroying our future. Look at the level at which we have got to now. People are no longer able to move in Lagos. That's the side. So we are talking about education. And when we have this, there should be centers of excellence for children who have the higher ability to assimilate education quickly. We move them to those centers of excellence, provide the equipment for them so that they can exhibit their energy in creativity. So that some of them, by the time they're age 10, could even have been to university. So centers of excellence for growing educational young men and women should be created within the new package of our educational policy. And to maintain this policy is not difficult. The funding will come from us, but it's going to be free. But like I said, if we create an environment of the freedom for the parents to be able to have time for themselves, to go to farms, to go to factories, to even create industries for themselves, then we have a tax base which we can tap from, not exploit, we can tap from it by giving reasonable tax regime to each part of the population. Most of them be happy to do it, because if they have to pay thousands of naira for the education of their children, they cannot even be happy to pay tax. But if they are not paying for their children's education, the minimum tax given to them, they will jolly well pay it. And if they are even defaulting, they will be apologize for it. In those days when we were growing up, there were people who at some point thought they had paid the tax, and they said, okay, this is the books you haven't paid. They beg, we are sorry, I'm sorry, I forgot, I thought I had paid. Quickly they go to the bank or the post office, as it was in those days, to get money to pay off, rather than being ridiculed by the community. Because then, if you don't pay your tax, you are ridiculed. Because it was like joy that we are contributing to development. So, but we have to create the environment where the population are ready to pay the tax. It happens. But at the same time, you have to have control over all these things. And that control is that there will be some miscreants among the population who don't want to pay. And then we have to have laws that will guide and cover such areas. And because the education provided will be the core for every other thing that will follow. And for you to educate the young ones, you have to have them healthy. And for you to get them healthy, you have to have food. That's why I said those three things: free education, free health, and food, and research and development. So I want you, I've just given a broad overview of what we need to do, which we are going to start to tabulate one by one. At this stage, what do we do? At the nursery stage, what do we do? At the infant stage, what do we do? At the primary stage, nursery, infant, primary, and then at the age of 7 or so, or 10, they are going to secondary school. And we are going to change this rubbish they call 3 whatever it is, to a straight number, 5 years of secondary school education. We have to remove that rubbish that is there. We need a 5-year secondary education and a 1 or 2 year of what we call higher secondary education. And that at that level, you are now going to be putting young men and women into classes of specialization. That time they are going to be doing very few subjects, like 4 or 5 subjects, so that they qualify within in a unit whole of a future discipline, either in engineering, in agriculture. I think you understand what I'm saying. Or even what we call commerce, industry, communication, which will also include the history, so that people documenting what we are doing, we're trained to know how to document historical facts in science and technology, historical facts in language development. We need all that, all those things. I hope I'm giving you a picture of what we should do. And I want you all to start to put down these things and expand on what the basic things I'm discussing with you. Because a people without history in every field will always fail.
Yes, sir.
History is important. The history of who you are and the history of the science you are learning, the history of the geography of your environment. It's very important.
For that, I think in Nigeria presently, it's almost like 15 to 14 years they ban history in the educational sector in Nigeria. I think it's been a long way, for almost 15 years of age now, the student not learning their history to know who they are, and their heritage. It's really something bad to the economy, the educational system. So I'm going to use this opportunity, using the history, is a very important subject for all students from the zero level, from primary school, and even the secondary school, to know who they are and who they are is very important. In the Western region, they teach them who they are and they let them know much about their history and who they are. But in Nigeria, I find it difficult that our headers, our elites, they purposely ban the history in the educational sector, and which is very bad for the indigenous people. So I think we can really expand more on that, sir, so people can really know the importance of the history in education to grow their kid up in the history.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'd like that you interjected into it to remind me of the fact that history has been banned in Nigeria. And it is it's a pseudo-political colonization factor. The federal government that did it wanted our people not to remember the past, not to remember how we developed, not to even remember Awolowo. Most children don't even know who Awolowo is. If you ask them, they just hear the name. It sounds good to them. They don't know what he did. When did he leave? So it's a deliberate act to remove us from understanding our past. And if you don't understand your past, you cannot decide your future. And it is one of the statements that my Balewa said in October 12, 1960. Most of you have seen that write-up, that they will not, the Yoruba, they will not allow them to be able to decide their own future, deceit. And unfortunately, we all fell into the trap. Even our governors, who cannot decide that this dam here is in my land. Even if God, why did they build it? Why did they put generators there? It must work. He can't talk because he does not understand who he is. I mean, the governor of Ogun State, all the governors that have been there in the past 20 or so years, they're empty-headed. I would say that. Is it Oshoba, who is a journalist? He sat down there, instead of looking at his environment, they just were not seeing it. They were not seeing it. And they allow you youths to be suffering for no reason. They are not harnessing the energy of a growing population. All they do is give some stipends to a few families. Baba Eshe gone. No, it should not be Baba Eshe gone. Bolotirowo. Is it not the money meant for free education, free health, road development, energy, and so on? People themselves are at fault because they refuse to understand the power they have, the power of sovereignty. And you must do what we want. But they are not addressing that aspect of our society. I mean, the followers. Rather, some of them are the governor, the senator, the king. But for what purpose do you want to be
No,
governor?
I think the problem is that most of the followers, sorry to interrupt you, sir. I think the
No,
problem is
no,
that
it's
most
good
of the
that you
followers,
disturb me. I
they
want to
didn't
listen to you.
know their rights and the right thing they need. Yeah, I think most of the followers and they didn't know their rights. They didn't know they have the power to shake me those governor or any house of rep or the senator who they elect to the position. But most of them doesn't really know that they have the right to shake me them. I think that's one of the ignorance that is following the most of the followers.
Yeah.
They didn't know the particular the power of the.
Yeah, that is one thing that I'm happy you use the word checkmate. And to checkmate them, the people who know will be maybe one person who tell another person this is not right, and will tell them let us stop this. You cannot even if you are going to the governor's office or whatever, and you have police there, you first of all talk to them. You don't rush. The power of information is so massive if you know how to handle it. You have to talk to those police or whatever. Is this where you are going to die protecting somebody who is stealing the money that is meant for your school children? Is this the life you want to? You talk back to their sensibility. At some point, they will wake up. They will turn around and follow you. But we are not doing that. We are scared. The gun is only as powerful as the person who pressed the trigger. But if you talk to the minds of the person who pressed the trigger, he forget pressing the trigger against you. Rather, we turn it around against those who are making him stand in the rain and sun every day, or because of some stipends that is not enough for his own family. That's what. Look at the police college in Ikeja. It's a wretched image of itself. When the white men were there, the place was always renovated. Yet we come round and say, "Oh, the wicked British." When I see some of our leaders saying wicked British, I say, you are insulting yourself because you are the one wicked, because you took part in allowing some people to steal your sovereignty and misuse it for their own gain.
Yeah.
By going for an election. They've gone to an election. You are choosing them to go and manage the resources on your behalf. And those resources are free health, free education, agricultural development, and then roads. To have this, you must have roads. To have this, you must have electricity. To have this, you must have research stations. To have this, you must even have railway and airways. And to have this, you must have ports. You must have everything that will make those three things work. And the first one is free education. And yeah, wanting to have free education. So we need to look at every aspect. Our specialized institutions should be created to take care of various things. And in such institutions, you still have recorders of science and development, which are historic science, the history of science, the history of medicine. What was it before? What is it now? And that is what in some areas of Western technological development, they always say for this item to be done, you look into the innovations of the past to be able to decide whether this is how we're going to do it. Look at one of the most beautiful bridges in southern France, the Millau Bridge. It's so high up, it's about the tallest bridge in the world from base. Google it. You see a bridge in the clouds. It's not what we cannot do. It requires the man an architect to decide, picturing. You are integrated with the environment. And that is what education provides. You provide the education to free the minds of mankind, to be able to make the place livable, whether rural or urban, to the point that when people are getting older in the urban areas, they move into the rural area because they are still going to enjoy the same facilities they are enjoying in the urban area. Even it is now going to be not exclusive. It's now going to be an open plain for them in the rural areas. So they can now have their little farm they go to, or even in the cities, you have what we call market gardens around, or allotments as in London, because if you know the area called Canary Wharf area, there's a forest within Canary Wharf. If you're in the forest, you will not see the tall buildings. People plant crops. It's just like having to plant crops and food and everything in Ikoyi. You see a whole forest, you will not see the buildings around, except when you are starting to walk out and there's a railway beside it. These are things we can do. It is born out of education.
I think presently in Nigeria, most of their road network in Nigeria in rural area presently is something we can't really talk about because they don't have good road network in the rural area, which that's what really affect their business and the business, the agricultural sector, which they don't have road network to move around their goods and to the bank. Are you with me, sir? Hello, sir. Are you with me? Oh, can you please mute yourself, sir?
Okay, now. Can you hear me?
What I'm saying is that presently some rural area they don't really have a good road network in their area, which it doesn't which affect their movement of their goods. Some of the farmers or the doing business in the rural area, they don't have the good network area, so it affects their business in loss, which it doesn't, most of the rural area doesn't develop much better. So they keep having issue, not having road network, even some no water to for their agriculture, even no lights in some of the rural area, which is really affecting them really seriously. I'm assuring that I don't know the plan they have in Yoruba nation, Yoruba nation. So how are we going to make it possible is that what the good road network, water and a good lights is going to be appear in those rural areas that they are going to benefit some lot of things. Even as you said earlier, the railway network is going to pass through there.
Yeah, that is. I'm happy you mentioning this.
When
we were growing up, when we were growing up, almost every town and village was connected with roads, both tarred and untarred, and they did not have potholes because they had what we call a PWD, group of persons who have a GO, as I would call it, who have centers along all our roads and villages, who maintain those roads regularly. There was money. And the money available then is not 1/10 of what is being wasted now. So it means if we had good governance, all these things would have been opened up. And along the roads, you could now have what we call storage centers for agricultural products, whereby lorries will just come and take and go to sell in the towns and villages nearby. That is a very critical point you mentioned. And this is what we call critical infrastructure for development.
Sorry, sir. What you just mentioned about the Story Center is a big project, which is really affecting the farmer in Nigeria presently, because most of their crop and their goods, there's no good storage center for it, so it really affects the crop a lot.
So those are some of the points. Those are some of the side points we are going to be putting down, because we are looking at the horrors of the past and we are going to look at the innovations of the future. These are some of the things that now I'm happy you remember all this. So we will know what is the obvious, what do we do to correct this. That's why we have to list out our action plan. It's our action plan for the future. So you now see, when you look sit down, look into what I've just said, action plan, it means there's going to be a lot of jobs for our youths and even others. A lot of jobs. Like I told today, we are not going to beg anybody to come and help us. We are going to ask them to come and work with us, because they are going to make their money, and then we are going to get their technology. It's not begging anybody in the world to come and work with us. That's the word. I don't know if today is still around. That's what I said we should be doing. And to do that,
Comrade is not around. I think you have some network issue with him. He dropped a message that you have some network issue.
He said something that I always say we should not be calling ourselves comrade. Even the Russians who call themselves comrade only call themselves when they have their Politburo meeting. And that's one thing. What we think is a pleasure to call ourselves. When I was at school and developing my thought process, and they call, I said, don't call me comrade. I'm Omolawumi. I'm Alex Oluwole Ajala. I'm not a communist. So it's an annotation for communism, which destroys humanity. It does not count people. If you go to read about or watch the films of Russia, you see the millions of people that were killed only because they want to run a communist system. And they destroyed their own economy. The agriculture was so bad that they were buying food from America. America, they say, is an evil country. In 1971, they bought food worth 1.9 billion from America, rice, because their own agriculture was destroyed by their commune system. Because no one wants, the natural state of nature is that no one wants to work for free for others to be enjoying. That's one thing. Even though they gave them free health and free education, and all the monies they made, they built some rickety housing system for them, and they were happy, not knowing that they could be better. And their leadership were living posh like some billionaires. The leader, people like Lenin, Stalin, Khrushchev, Brezhnev, all of them were living in posh areas, what they call dachas, exclusive area. So you see, that is why when I understood it, and looking at Eastern Europe, particularly Eastern Germany, there were people escaping from there to Western Germany at the pain of death. And they are the ones most of us in Africa copy and say we are comrades. We don't understand the suffering of the people. So comrades should not be used.
Yes, I understand, sir. I understand, sir. Okay, sir. I understand, sir. I just
call me by my name.
To ask what's not the question about what we're discussing on the body.
Yeah. So
Baba mi Alex Ajala.
Ta ló ń sọ̀rọ̀?
Àjọkẹ́ Adé ló ń sọ̀rọ̀. A wà lórí rédíò Dúdúspree lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ www.duduspree.com mo wà nínú studios. So gbogbo àwa tí a fẹ́ gbọ́ wa káàkiri gbogbo àgbáláyé. The first and only truly Pan-African radio where your culture, your language, your speech and everything about
and
you gets featured. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, grandpa mi ò kì í ṣe comrade. Kí ni kí n pera mi? Ṣé kí n pera mi lọ́jọ̀gbọ́n? Àbí kí n pera wa lọ́mọlúàbí?
Forget about that. Kí lorúkọ yín?
Àjọkẹ́ ni mí.
Àjọkẹ́ ni. Don't try to look for any qualification to it. If you are a medical doctor, you are Ajoke, a medical doctor. There are a lot of things you have made mistakes about.
I'm not medical doctor, Ajoke. I am Ajoke, a medical doctor.
That's the way it should be. Or engineer. I'm today an engineer, not engineer today.
Not ṣé ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ̀yin tí ẹ gbọ́ wa nílé tí ẹ ń wò wá káàkiri gbogbo àgbáláyé tá wà ní YGYMEDIA. This is what we call the true change and transformation. We are open to suggestions, open to change, open to anything that will move us forward. Bàbá mi mo rántí wípé nǹkan kan ń ṣe wá, ó ní mo ṣe fẹ́ béèrè yẹn káàkiri àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ń béèrè pé láyé àtijọ́ wọ́n máa ń kọrin wípé iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ yóò máa jalè.
Ìwé kíkọ́
láìsí ọkọ́
àti àdá kò ì pé o. Bó ẹ ṣeun, Àjọkẹ́.
Ẹ ṣé sà, gbàgbá ṣé ìtorí pé ẹ̀yin bàbá wa gbàgbé ọkọ́ àti àdá, ṣé ìtorí ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń jalè? Ìbéèrè tí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ní kí n béèrè.
Àwa ò gbàgbé ọkọ́ àti àdá, àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó tẹ̀lé wa àti àwọn òbí wa kan ní tó ń jẹ́ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ tèmi tí wọ́n kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wọn pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́ kan koríko. It's sad. It really happened amongst my own age group. It is sad. Wọ́n gbàgbé pé gbogbo ìlú èbó tí wọ́n ń wá tó ń ṣe kíní, agriculture ló máa gbé wọn dìde. Agriculture is the foundation of science and technology. Agriculture ló lead ṣe pé kán ṣe barbed wire in the first place. Tí wọ́n fi ṣe oko round láti má jẹ́ kí màálù máa ní oko tí wọ́n bá ti gbìn. Starting from America, it was an American farmer that invented barbed wire. It was not meant for war. It was not meant for Cafe protect only. It was to partition agricultural land from grazing lands. Bó ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn. And I'm sorry to say, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tá a kàwé, àròbá àgbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́ kan nǹkan oko, àgbọ́dọ̀ ṣe kíní. Èmi tí ẹ̀ ń wò yìí, mo ti lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ní ibi ẹ̀rọ̀fọ̀ tá a ti ń gé brick ní East Africa kí n lè kọ́ bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe. Mo ti lọ sí kíní Enibog, tá a lọ sí odò, tá a ṣe kíní, tá a wọnú igbó, tá a plant bí omi tó bá ṣàn gbanú pipe bó ṣe máa generate electricity and no dam building. Then èmi mo ní oko nílé. Gbà kan tí mo lọ sí ilé, àbúrò mi tó rẹ́ pé torí pé òun jẹ́ principal school, retired principal of the school. Granddaughter màmá ń lọ sóko, òun jókòó sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ for 2 weeks. Tọ́mọ yìí ń lọ sóko tó ń já nǹkan oko wá sílé láti gbà tèmi délé tí ọmọ yìí lòun fẹ́ lọ sóko. Mo wọ ṣòkòtò mi péńpé àìjọ lọ sóko yẹn. Àwọn àbúrò mi tán rò bá wọn kàwé mi ní ẹ̀. Irú alákọ̀wé ẹ̀rọ ò lélẹ̀. Mo lọ sóko yẹn, oko yẹn tóbi torí mo ti ń fowó ránṣẹ́ sí wọn pé kán ṣoko. So they were not buying food. Gbà tí mo padà délé ni àbúrò mi wá pé ẹ máa pẹ́ mo ní ó mọ̀ kókó ńlá ni nǹkan rẹ̀ bí bóyá bí garden kékeré lọ mọ́. Mo ní ṣé garden kékeré ló máa lọ jókòó sí látàárọ̀ dalẹ́ tẹ̀yìn jókòó tẹ̀ wo tẹlifíṣàn nínú ilé. We have messed up. That's my own àbúrò tí mo jù lọ dáadáa. Torí òun jẹ́ retired principal. Mo ṣẹ̀ dé láti London. The next day mo wọ bàtà torí mo ti ní bàtà oko sílé. tipẹ́ tí bá ti dé ilé tí bá ti ká àwọn ará àdúgbò mo lọ sóko nìyẹn láti lo wọn good food, fresh food. That's why maybe I'm still able to talk very strongly now. So we need to go back to revise our mindset, to know that the foundation of development is agriculture and education and free health service. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni,
à ń gbọ́ yín lágbọ́yé bàbá wa.
So you see, we cannot even you can still plant something that will be yours. Tema nurture, tema je. Ǹjẹ́ ti rí kíní mọ́ tomato eléjò tó máa ń gbọ́rọ̀. Tẹ̀bí ẹ̀yìn balùwẹ̀ la máa ń gbìn sí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
We have forgotten all these things. Àwa rò bí bóyá Fúlàní ló máa fún wa lóúnjẹ.
Bàbá wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, bàbá wa. Àwa Yorùbá tẹ̀ ní oríṣi tòmátì tó tó bíi mẹ́rin tí èmi gan mọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọdé.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
So eléjò wà. A ní bẹ́rì tó kéré pátápátá tó jẹ́ pé agolo náà máa fi wọ̀n. A tún nílé tó pọ̀wọ́ le. Lẹ́yìn yẹn la wá ní tòmátò tó máa ń ní bíi tòmátò wá yàtọ̀ sí tàwọn Haúsá, ó máa ń fẹ̀ gidi báyìí.
Tòmátò yẹn tó máa ń dàbí bí apẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Gbogbo kíní yìí òun náà ni a ti wá sọnù. Àwa sọnù. And that is where the education factor is important. You can try and discuss.
Ṣé education ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ òyìnbó tó bá wà ní ilé ìwé, wọ́n á kọ́ wọn bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ọ̀sìn ẹja. Kò sí ẹ̀kọ́ kan tẹ́ bá wo bí ìlú òyìnbó bọ́n ṣe ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ wọn. Ẹ máa rí pé kọ́mọ tó parí ilé ìwé girama, ó lè dá dúró fúnra rẹ̀ torí á ti mọ bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ọ̀sìn ẹja. A ti mọ bọ́n ṣe ń gbin nǹkan, a ti mọ bọ́n ṣe gbéléta ṣe ń pariwo káwọn kan ṣe ọ̀sìn etílé. Ìjọ́ tí mo gbìyànjú ẹ̀ ní ìlú Èkó, tí mo wá ní kán bá mi kan pákó tí mo da iyẹ̀pẹ̀ sí, mo wá ṣe ìgbín náà sínú pákó kékeré. Omi tí má ti fi clean ilé ìgbín yẹn ni màá wá dà sí ibi tí mo bu iyẹ̀pẹ̀ sí. Mo dẹ̀ gbin tòmátò sí, ó dẹ̀ wù. Ṣé rí ìgbà tí mo ń ṣe àwọn ọmọdé máa ń kọjá, wọ́n máa fi mí ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́. Wọ́n á ní kí ló ń ṣe? Ìjọ́ tí tòmátò yẹn wá so, gbogbo wọn ò tiẹ̀ lérò kó lè so. Mo wá ronú torí mi ń wò pé bọ́ òyìnbó ṣe ń kọ́ ọmọ wọn, kí ló wá dé, kí ló ṣe àwa? Títí di ọ̀la báyìí ọmọ mi máa sọ pé Mama, I ate tomato from your garden. I ate ọmọ mi ó máa sọ fún yín pé òun fẹ́ gbin tòmátò. Ọmọ ọdún 4 ni o. A ló òun fẹ́ ní oko ti tòun. Ọmọ yìí tẹ́ bá dé gbé pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n náà fi fake education location mùjẹ̀mùjẹ̀ kọ́, wọn ò lè dúró lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Àbíọ́ tó ti pa àwọn ọ̀dọ́ sí Lekki Toll Gate ni mo ti ń pè wọ́n ní ìlú mùjẹ̀mùjẹ̀. Torí ìlú tó bá pa ọ̀dọ́ ẹ̀ nípọ̀nà fọṣù, ìlú tó mùjẹ̀ ni. Ìyẹn ló mú wá ń wò ó pé ṣé ẹ rò wípé ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n ń kọ́ wa, ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n ń kọ́ àwọn ọmọ ní ilé, ẹ̀kọ́ tó lè sọ wọ́n di ẹrú ni? Bóyá ẹrú Fúlàní.
Sorry, in addition to what you just said right now, Ajoke Ade, I'm going to say that is our parents that cause all these things. Our parents have had the Western style, the way they do things. Don't forget that the Western, they do to teach or pass knowledge to drill all down there, to let them know even any aspect they wish to study. Even though you are in military, you are a doctor, student in agriculture, they go in agricultural. But Nigeria, we don't pass it down to our children, or we all believe anybody doing agricultural, maybe the person, or it doesn't advance, or it doesn't have law, is up to standards. So that's what the law we have already passed to the young generation. So you can't really blame them. You don't blame our parents who does to us. I think they should then if they should teach them how to do things and how to
Okay, we are struggling to hear our comrade. Comrade Olabi.
all these things.
Comrade Olabi, if you can hear me, the bandwidth is quite low. Okay, as we are going on, Baba wa Alex Ajala, à ń wo nǹkan kan wípé kí ni ọ̀nà àbáyọ?
Ó dà ń pé ẹ cut off lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Tó mi ò gbọ́ anything tẹ́ ẹ sọ mọ́. Hello?
Hello sir, ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́ wa báyìí? Hello sir.
Mo ń gbọ́ yín.
Hello.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Ó dà nǹkan tí bàbá wa ń sọ ni tí ẹ ti ní ká má pè wá ń comrade mọ́, a máa lẹ́nu díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni. Nǹkan tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Olabi ń sọ ni wípé ó ní wípé a ò lè fi bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ wípé dá ẹ̀bi lé àwọn bàbá àti ìyá wa lórí àti àwa ọmọ náà wípé nǹkan tó dé bá wa náà ni òun náà ni ọ̀nà àbáyọ náà ni wípé kí a padà sí oko. Tá a bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa oko etílé, ǹjẹ́ ẹ tẹ̀lé fún wa ní àwọn ọ̀nà tí a fi lè ṣe oko etílé tí yóò fi dàgbà, pàápàá jùlọ àwa tí a wà ní ìlú òyìnbó tó jẹ́ wípé bóyá ẹ mọ̀ òtútù. Ẹlòmíì, mo tẹ̀ ní bàbá kan ní London tó ń sọ wípé àwọn máa ń gbogbo nǹkan táwọn ń jẹ àwọn ń gbìn ní ilé àwọn ni, ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá wo ilẹ̀ ibẹ̀ yẹn àti ilẹ̀ ilé ó yàtọ̀ síra. Báwo ni a ṣe lè ṣe? Lálákọ̀ọ́kọ́ àwa tí a wà ní òkè òkun, pàápàá jùlọ àwọn ibi tó jẹ́ pé bóyá òtútù àti snow ó máa ń bá wa fínra, torí àwọn nǹkan kan wà tó jẹ́ pé olóbìrè fínrin báyìí àwa la ní. Àwọn nǹkan kan tí a ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí Yorùbá tí mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ gbìn, ṣùgbọ́n báwo máa ṣe ṣe tí ó fi dàgbà àti wípé tí ò fi ní máa kú lọ́dọọdún. Lẹ́yìn yẹn ni wípé àwa tí a wà nílé, ṣé ẹ lè bá wa fún wọn ní ìwúrí wípé mo lọ sóko, ìyẹn ò ní pé kó wá pa ọpọlọ tó wà lórí ẹ gẹ́gẹ́ bí dókítà, oníṣègùn òyìnbó àbí akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ àbí mo tiẹ̀ bàbá wa Alex Ajala, mo rí ilé ìjọsìn kanjọ́ kan tí wọ́n tiẹ̀ ti sọ wípé tó bá lọ wá wá máa ṣe àgbẹ̀ paraku wípé ìyà ń jẹ nìyẹn, kó lè mọ̀ wípé àgbẹ̀ gangan, àgbẹ̀ lọba, àgbẹ̀ ló lówó jù ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Ṣé pé ìbéèrè yẹn ti pín sọ́nà méjì? Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ bàbá wa.
Oh my God, kí ni in faith?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello sir.
Hello.
Hello sir, mo ń gbọ́ yín, èmi gbọ́ yín kétékété. Hello. Comrade Tunde, can you speak up please? Ká lè mọ ibi tí ẹ̀rọ wà.
Yeah, èmi ń gbọ́ yín, mo ń gbọ́ yín dáadáa, but mi ì gbọ́ dádì mọ́.
I don't know what's happening. Mi ò mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ o.
A ti ń gbọ́ yín síta.
A ti ń gbọ́ yín báyìí bàbá wa, ṣẹ́yìn náà ti ń gbọ́ wa.
Gbogbo nǹkan tó sọ yẹn nípa nǹkan tí a lè ṣe. Àwọn nǹkan ọ̀gbìn wà tí a lè gbìn nílùú yìí náà ní England. Èmi ní allotment sí àárín kíní Canary Wharf. Èyí mo sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan bóyá ẹ ti wà pẹ̀lú wa nígbà tí mo sọ pé aginjù kan wà nínú Canary Wharf. Tẹ́ bá wà ń bẹ̀ ní rí ilé kankan. So wọ́n allot fún even engineer, doctor, philosopher, gbogbo wa la ní allotment. Wọ́n tó ra gé kélekèle. So you plant your crops. Àwọn crops tẹ́ pé àwọn temperate crops àti àwọn ẹ̀fọ́ àti kíni elégédé ohun bẹ́ẹ̀. You know, the pumpkin, and then seed, the pumpkin seeds ó dáa fún ara, It has a lot of vitamins to help ara, apart from eating the soft part of it. So there kò síbi tí nǹkan ò ti lè wù. All you need to do ni pé kó mọ nǹkan tó fẹ́ gbìn, and then you find out, to research into it, which is the best option. Even àgbàdo gan, n bá sọ fún pé France ni wọ́n ti ń gbin àgbàdo jù yàtọ̀ sí America ní gbogbo àgbáyé. France, ìbí ilẹ̀ tútù ni. See, there are things we have left behind, particularly àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa tó kàwé ṣáájú wa, wọ́n díjú mọ́rí ńgbà tán wá sílùú èbó. Wọ́n rò bí, mo máa ń sọ fún àwọn kan, wọ́n rò bí kí lorúkọ ẹ̀, series tó ń jẹ ó jábọ́ láti ojú ọ̀run ni. Àgbàdo máa ní, wọ́n process ẹ̀ ni, wọ́n dẹ̀ dry, wọ́n fry ẹ̀, ó wá di series. It's all, from agriculture you go into science of productivity, production. Títí kan bread nǹkan, mi ò mọ̀ bí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ṣì rántí Famoriyo bread ní Èkó. One of the best bread tó ń ṣe in those days, in the 50s and 60s. Ṣebí federal government ni ò jẹ́ kán gbé àwọn new equipments wá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni torí gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀, federal government ń rẹwà mú, we kept pushing our nose into it. Instead of saying, no, let's hold on. Are we not in the same country? You cannot keep on stopping us. If you are going to keep on stopping us, let us go our separate ways. After all, that was the beginning of 1953. Ṣèbáwa la force àwọn Northerners láti join wa. And then we sat back, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń sọ wá di ẹrú, wa dẹ̀ ń gbà. Wọ́n sọ Èkó di apẹ̀rẹ̀ àjàṣẹ́, kò sí náà, kò sómi. We accept. A máa sọ pé ìwọ tó bá lówó ẹ̀ ló ní ra generator. Is that what we should end up with? Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́ London ẹ̀ ní tan generator, ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́ kó. Ṣé ọmọ yẹn ṣó ti bá mi ra diesel? Èló ni ṣé tank kan náà gbé wá fún mi? Is that what we should be hearing from our elders? And some of us think that is life. This is one thing that pains me. À ń gbé lé prison yà dárò bí ilé gidi là ń gbé. We are not.
Bàbá wa Alex Ajala, ibi tẹ́tẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ dé yẹn, ó jẹ́bi tó jẹ́ pé ó máa ń rò mí nú. Tẹ́ bá rí ilé ní òkè òkun, kò sí pé à ń kọ́ fẹ́ǹsì. Tẹ́ bá rí fẹ́ǹsì, ẹ máa rí ní ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n. Ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n ní fẹ́ǹsì wà. Ó wá dàbí wípé àwọn èèyàn gidi ọmọlúàbí náà wá ń gbénu ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n báyìí. Àti àwọn tó wá jẹ́ kí náà ń porúkọ ẹ̀, àwọn ìpátá, àwọn olè, àwọn agbéwiri, àwọn wá ń rìn kiri gbogbo àdúgbò. Irú ẹ̀kọ́ òdì wọ̀nyí a nílò láti ṣe wọ́n kí a gbé wọn dànù torí pé kò ràn wá lọ́wọ́. A dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Alex Ajala. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Owólabí náà ti ń wọlé padà. Ó dàbí pé iná ọba ló ṣe ségesège lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn. Tẹ́ bá rí, ó ní ìjọ́ mi táwa kan tá bá ń lọ sí ilé báyìí, ọ̀tọ̀ lólúwa ronú jẹnẹrétọ̀, wàá wá ronú oye epo tó máa lò títí tó fi máa padà. Kódà táǹkà epo kan ó lè máa ṣẹ̀mọ̀ èèyàn tó bá ti wà níbi tó jẹ́ pé iná ń wà lójoojúmọ́. Kódà táwọn èèyàn bá ní kò síná, mo máa ń wò ó pé kò síná kẹ̀ ẹ́ mọ̀. Wọ́n ní ẹlòmíà tẹ̀ ní oṣù mẹ́ta kò síná. Mo ní báwo lẹ ṣe wá ń survive? Èèyàn olúwa ti kú níráyé ìsìn. Wọ́n ní torí ọmọ òyìnbó nìwọ ní. Sọ pé ọmọ òyìnbó a ní kíní ò nọ́mà. Kí ló dé tó ṣe jẹ́ wípé ìbéèrè ni mo fẹ́ mú jáde níbẹ̀ yẹn? Kí ló ṣe jẹ́ wípé gbogbo nǹkan tó dorí kodò òun làwọn èèyàn wá gba bí pé à ń gba kámú, à ń gba kádàrá. Gbogbo nǹkan ti dorí kodò, wọ́n sì gbà náà pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó ṣe máa lọ.
Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé kò yé wọn. Ìní máa fi ń sọ nígbà tí n bá sọ̀rọ̀ pé kọ́lọ́run má jẹ́ pẹ́ kó tó yé wọn, because ìgbà tó bá yé wọn, wọ́n máa yarí tẹ́ pé àwọn tó ń jẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n wọn tó ń gbé nínú ilé fẹ́ǹsì, wọ́n máa wọ́ àwọn fẹ́ǹsì sílẹ̀. It has happened worldwide before. Ìlú yìí ṣe bí wọ́n bẹ́ ọba wọn lórí King Charles the First nígbà tó ń ṣe irú ètò àwọn èèyàn wa ń ṣe Nàìjíríà tó ń gba owó orí tí ò ní tọ́jú lù ú tó ń ṣe oríṣiríṣi tó ń ṣe pátí ńláńlá ní gbogbo àwọn castles tó kọ́ káàkiri àti palaces àti kíní làwọn èèyàn dìde pé ó tó gẹ́ náà gbógun ti King Charles, the Roundheads and the Redcoats. At the end of the day, wọ́n defeated. Wọ́n gbé lọ sí court, the court of the people. Wọ́n dájọ́ fún, wọ́n bury ẹ̀. So general kíní tó lead wọn ìyẹn Cromwell ó wá di protector, Lord Protector of the people for a time. But unfortunately, as mankind is, òun náà wá fẹ́ di ọba làwọn aráàlú sọ pé a mọ nǹkan tá a jà fún. Ọba tí ò dára bẹ́rẹ̀, ìlú ọlọ́ba ni wá. A máa gba ọba wa padà. Wọ́n wá lọ wá son ní King Charles the First, ní Charles the Second. Ó wà ní Holland. Wọ́n wá lọ mú wá, wọ́n wá install ẹ̀ padà. Bọ́n ṣe tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí monarchy nìyẹn. And then wọ́n wá ṣe òfin pé àwọn ìjọba, that is the commons, will rule on behalf of the king. Irú fọ́múlà yẹn ni à ń lò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kí òyìnbó tó dé. Ọba yan àwọn ìjòyè tó ń rú.
Bàbá wa, ó ń yà wá lẹ́nu, ó ń yà wá lẹ́nu. Òyìnbó ṣé wọ́n gba àrà yìí dá lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá ńlá bàbá wa ni? Ṣé kí ló dé tó ṣe jẹ́ pé wọ́n pa gbogbo nǹkan táwa ní? Àwọn
òyìnbó ò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, àwa fúnra la kọwọ́ bọ ìranù. Nígbà tó òyìnbó lọ, kí n sọ fún wọ́n respect traditional rule wa gan. Ìgbà kan I will find the full details. The Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀. Onírú family problem ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Abẹ́ Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ òun nìkan ló lè dá ẹjọ́ yẹn. But kí Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ tó wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́, àwọn òyìnbó lọ bẹ̀ pé problem wà in your kingdom, even though àwa là ń rule ẹ̀, and they need your presence to come and sort it out. So nígbà yẹn wọ́n ní Ọọ̀ni ò gbọ́dọ̀ jáde. Ìjọ́ tó ní bá máa jáde, gbogbo ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá títí kan Benin náà máa kúrò láàfin. The white men respected that tradition. Wọ́n ní tó bá máa jáde, wọ́n láti pa màálù bíi mélòó kan káàkiri ìlú mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. The white man provided to buy and do that thing just to solve our own traditional problem in Lagos. Ìgbà tó ń ṣe kíni ẹ̀ tán náà wá gbé Ọọ̀ni wá sí Èkó. Tó bá lọ́wọ́ adájọ́ yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ settle kíni ẹ̀. Wọ́n wá padà, wọ́n á tún lu agogo pé Ọọ̀ni ti padà sí ilé o. Ìgbà ẹni Aláàfin, ọba Benin and all other bars wọ́n ṣe padà sáàfin. Tí òyìnbó hate wa nìyẹn. Àwa la hate ara wa. Ìgbà tán tí government service bẹ̀rẹ̀, èyí tí wọ́n sáàkì tí Awólọ́wọ̀ lead tán fi sáàkì the Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́. Àwọn òyìnbó sọ pé kò yẹ kó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, but àwọn ò láṣẹ láti dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ tradition wọn. We only came to trade. Bóyá gbogbo yín bá ti máa gbọ́ bí ṣe sọ pé they came to trade. They did not come to help us run a country. We were left. That was why during the Awólọ́wọ̀'s era in the 50s, he was left to do everything. He was even assisted. Was given the avenue for research and development set up, like this, the famous School of Agric Akure. If they did not want us to develop, should we have had all those things? Ẹjọ́ àwa tá kàwé ni gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa, torí pé wọn ò lè sòótọ́ náà fi ń tan àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ti sìn jẹ́ pé òyìnbó ló tẹ̀ wá rí, òyìnbó kankan tẹ̀ wá rí, àwa la tẹ̀ ara wa rí.
Kódà mo rántí wípé ẹ̀gbọ́n bàbá mi wọn ò tiẹ̀ gba visa kankan tó lọ sílùú òyìnbó lọ́dún náà lọ́hùn. Ìtàn wọn ní tọmọdé ò bá bá ìtàn yóò bá àrọ́bá, àrọ́bá sì rèé bàbá ìtàn ni. Bàbá mi ọ̀rọ̀ ti délẹ̀ báyìí, tá bá wá fẹ́ wá sọ wípé a fẹ́ tún ilẹ̀ wa ṣe, ọ̀dọ́ kan ń gbọ́ wa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, ọ̀dọ́ kan ń wò wá, ọ̀dọ́ kan ń ronú pé òun náà ń ronú bí ìlú wa yóò ṣe dàbí ìlú Japan. Ṣe ráwọn Japan wọn kún ṣèdè. Mo wo interview Ronaldo, òyìnbó tó ń sọ gan tí ẹlòmíì inú wa bá sọ wọn máa fi ṣe ẹ̀yẹ ni. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ wo ó dẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa, ṣé ó ṣọkùnrin. Japan èdè wọn náà sọ, wọn dẹ̀ ní 98% literacy.
Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. Sorry, kí n tún sọ. Èèyàn mi Àjọkẹ́ jẹ́ kí n fi tàgbà dẹ̀ dúró díẹ̀ ni. Sorry, ìtìjú kan tó wà láfíríkà tá a ti mú. Number one, ìtìjú Pan-Africanism, kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. You are either developing or you are not developing. It's not Pan-Africanism development. Don't get development. Number one, tẹ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀ Pan-African, èdè wo ni Pan-African fẹ́ sọ? Ṣé èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ti England tàbí èdè Faransé tàbí èdè Germany tàbí èdè Spanish? Look at the disgrace tí àwọn leaders wa. I would like to call them leaders. I find it difficult to call them leaders. Àwọn front runners tán láwọn represent wa ní United Nations. Tó bá débò èdè wo náà sọ? Tí wọ́n ń ṣèdè ìlú wọn àbí?
Speaking English no sir.
Look at English or French or Spanish or Portuguese. And then àwọn white Arabs, àwọn kúkú sọ èdè wọn Arabic in Northern Africa. But àwa ní ìsàlẹ̀, táwa ní tropical area, èdè ìbò àádẹ́ tún máa fi bú wọn. Look at, I give you an example of what happened the last United Nations meeting. Joe Biden dìde, ó sọ̀rọ̀ in favor of Africa. Pé àwọn nǹkan kan wà tí a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe l'Africa. Number one, Africa must have represented at the top level of the United Nations, the Security Council. He said that it's time for Africa to be represented at the and it's time for Africa to look inwards to develop its science and technology and agriculture to feed itself, so that they will not be a burden to the rest of the world. He said all this. Then mi mọ̀ bóyá ìlú tí obìnrin yẹn tó ti jẹ́ head of state Africa ló bá tẹrí mọ́ kíní the world is denying us representation at the United Nations. Joe Biden ti sọ, because wọ́n ti kọ speech yẹn láti berate West. Instead of editing her speech, she was talking. I just felt sad for her. Àwọn ìbò dẹ̀ máa fi wá ṣe ẹ̀yẹ ni pé àwọn eléyìí tó ní èdè àlédè Africa ò lédè. That is the people of Africa, not sorry to use the word Africa. The people of Africa àlédè tá à ń sọ internationally. Àwa Yorùbá, are we represented? Have we submitted our papers into any government of the world as ambassadors to speak our language? At the United Nations, do we speak our language there? The answer is no. That is why I believe we have to stand up to dissolve Nigeria. Even Leopold Senghor in 1988 was written the economics paper to Mangba regularly up to now. Also, only for Africa to develop, Nigeria has to be dissolved. Maybe Gaddafi no sorti àwọn èèyàn bu. He was telling the truth. But particularly àwa tá kàwé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, bí táwa máa sọ England ló tẹ̀wárí. England ò tẹ̀wárí, àwa fúnra wa la tẹ̀wárí because we àmọ́ ọmọ tí à ń ṣe. wọn bí wá sínú Nàìjíríà, kò sí èdè kan tó ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ kì í ṣe orílẹ̀-èdè. It's like the Tower of Babel in Nigeria. That's what we are.
That is what happening.
Engineer Tunde.
I should have raised my
engineer.
Oh, sorry.
Engineer Tunde. Mo máa mú $5 lẹ máa san $5 péré.
Ara ìsọ̀rọ̀ lórúkọ tó confuse wa ni. If I tell you the foundation of this, àwọn boys wọ́n jẹ́ mates àwọn medical students táwọn yẹn jáde tó ń pè wọ́n doctor, they became envious. It was a very narrow decision. They don't know that a medical student is first of all called a doctor, and after some years no longer called a doctor, he's called a consultant. Àwọn tó láwọn ṣe degree PhD in physics and chemistry and all that. Àwọn náà wá fi pé àwọn gan náà máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pé àwọn ní engineer Ọládòkun, engineer kìnìkan. Rubbish! It's Ọládòkun, an engineer. That's how it should be. Mélòó làwọn ìbò tẹ́rí tán address wọn as engineer Smith. Anywhere in the world, even in
àwọn tó ti kàwé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá wa. Àwọn tó ti kàwé
except Nigeria.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rí mo ní professor kan, David ló máa pe ra ẹ̀. David, but tẹ́ bá mọ oyè ẹ̀kọ́ tó ní ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú xenotransplantation, pharmacogenomics, àwọn tó bá wà ní line science máa ní ìmọ̀ nǹkan tí mo sọ yìí. Ó mọ̀ ju ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó kóra wọn sí kí ní máa pera wọn ní doctor. Tẹ́ bá pè lọ́la ní Mr. David, òyìnbó nìyẹn. Àwa náà àwọn nǹkan tí ò bá dáa ká sọ dànù. Mo rí nǹkan tó sì ń lo comrade. Mi ì fẹ́ rí comrade nínú ilé ìmọ̀ ẹ̀yọ kúrò, we are not communists. Ó yá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Túndé, ó yẹ sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Túndé, ẹ̀yin ló kàn.
Èdè wa nìyẹn.
Mo kàn fẹ́ kí dádì lẹ́yìn ni pé in terms of nǹkan tí as in bí nǹkan ṣe ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ wa, orílẹ̀-èdè wa, àmọ́ ìlú tí wọ́n ń pè ní Nàìjíríà, tẹ́ àwọn èèyàn bá ń ṣe nǹkan ìbàjẹ́, tẹ́ bá correct wọn, nǹkan tó máa fi ń validate bad action wọn yẹn is wọ́n máa ní this is Naija you dey. So ṣé ìyẹn ò ti clear fún wa pé the existence of Naija òun ló ń fa ìwà burúkú? Tí tá bá ní Yorùbá ń sìn, tẹ́yìn kan bá sọ tó bá ń ṣe ìwà burúkú, tí n bá sọ fún pé a má ṣe kínní yẹn, kò lè sọ fún mi pé màá sọ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló wà. Nǹkan tí mo kàn fẹ́ kí yín lẹ́yìn ni bí a lè rí nǹkan kan sọ sí yẹn, tẹ́ bá lè expand lórí ẹ̀.
Thank you very much. Sórí nǹkan tó sọ láti ẹ̀ mo ti gbọ́ many times. Nígbà tí mo wà lé kí n tó kéṣẹ̀ bọ ìrìn àjò. Bá ṣe ń sọ ni, before I embarked on a journey. Èdè Yorùbá ló sọ, èdè ìbò tí mo sọ ṣe Yorùbá language. Before I embarked on a journey. You see, I want us to enjoy being the Yoruba person. Because we are specialists. Money. One study gbogbo àgbáyé, and many people, white men from different parts of the world, are still wondering why are these people not on their own. They are wondering. Àwọn kọ́ ló máa bá wa lo agogo, àwa fúnra la gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ ẹrú mọ́. And that is why we have to campaign. Ẹ gbàgbé pé àwọn kan ń sáré pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe election, gbogbo ẹ̀ má dàrú. Alárẹ̀ ó ti hàn àwọn èèyàn, gbogbo ẹ̀ má dàrú. Òbí ni o, kíní ni o, kíní ni o. It is not what we should be looking at. We should be looking at how to talk to our people. Nílé, come on, pé we no longer need to be part of Nigeria. And we are calling for the dissolution of that place. Kì í ṣe ìjàngbara. We have a right to call for that place to dissolve. And that's the language I want to be hearing all of you saying. Because mo ti kọ́ sọ ní way back in 1990s tí ó wà lórí Facebook for long. I said separation for cooperation. Ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti wà ń di pé ká bá àwọn èèyàn wa sọ. Ó wà ní Facebook, my old Facebook account. Káwọn ọmọ kéékèèké kankan tó wá dàrú mọ́ mi lọ́wọ́.
Wọ́n tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ẹ
So
ṣé
I
púpọ̀
now
bàbá wa. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ bàbá wa. Wọ́n máa kún sọ́nà wọn ni pé ẹnu àgbà ni obì ti ń gbọ́. Tó tó ṣe bí òwe mi ò tó pòwe níwájú yín, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ kí a máa kí àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ wa ní orí Dúdú Spree. That's the first and only truly Pan-African radio. Why do we say that? Because we have brought what is called Pan-Africanism redefined. A máa tún tò ní, not the one where they will be speaking Spanish, Portuguese, English, and your local language is lost. We are bringing it back, the redefining. We want to redefine. That is beginning with the Yoruba nation. Ọmọlúàbí ni mí, inú mi dùn pé ìran aládé ni mo ti wá. Àwọn èèyàn fi ìbéèrè ránṣẹ́ lọ́tùn lósì wípé tí a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá bá fẹ́ dìde wípé báwo ni àwọn bàbá wa ṣe ń ṣe ìṣelọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ ìbí ní ayé àtijọ́ kí òyìnbó tó dé, kí wọ́n tó ṣe 1914 amalgamation, kí boyfriend and girlfriend kó tó fún wa lórúkọ. It's actually a slap on our face. Somebody say, ha, yes now, Flora Shaw. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ rántí Frederick Lord Lugard? Before they came to tell you that one young man that died before he clocked 35 discovered River Niger. It is a slap on our face. And our people accepted all this. Báwo ni wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ìṣelọ́jọ́ ìbí birth certificate? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹ ṣe pé ó ní, my question is always that what is on the birth certificate of our fathers before 1914? Báwo náà ṣe ń ṣe ń gbà yẹn?
Ṣé ní Western ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, which
ilẹ̀ Yorùbá
tó ti wà educated before kóyìnbó tó decide láti kó wa pọ̀ sí ojú kan. It is Yoruba land of West Africa.
Is there a document like that?
But àwọn èèyàn ti so yí lórí kíní Wikipedia tó wá ti di, but luckily I'm an editor of Wikipedia. I'm trying to correct all those mistakes. Irú tí mo rí ní Wikipedia pé wọ́n rí epo ní 1960 ní Northern Nigeria, which is not true. Ó wà ní Wikipedia pé àwọn discover epo ní 1960. Whereas there was not a drop of oil found in the north. They had many minerals. I have a list of it. It's in my book, and there was no list of oil there. The only part of the north, was in the Lake Chad area. And that Lake Chad area, is in Chad Republic. And one northern affect Balon, luckily our Americans help on Chad and pay ilẹ̀ 20 repoti ni ẹ má gbà fún àwọn northern and the north first Philip Asiodu was in charge of those resource development to spend £2 billion looking for oil where there's no oil in the north. And as we speak now, there's not a drop of oil in the north. It refined.
Wọ́n náà ṣe kan ní ìjẹta ò àbí jẹrin. Bàbá wa wọ́n náà ti ń gbọ́n epo. Ṣé wọ́n wá lọ da omi sílẹ̀ ni?
No, forget about that. They are, let me quote something Lugard said about them. They are deceitful people, cunning and vicious, and that you should not have anything to do with them. Even Lugard took power. Also, in last speech, he's handing over notes. But our Yoruba people are listening. Rather, Abama colleague go Nigerian nationalism. And then Awolowo gan tún sọ̀rọ̀ part to Nigerian freedom instead of writing part to Yoruba freedom. You see, there are so many things tí àwọn bàbá mi ti ṣe tó lòdì sí ẹni tí àwa ń jẹ́. It is terrible, and that's why we have to educate our current youth, because you are the future of our nation, so that you don't kẹ́ má ṣì ọ̀nà gbé, kẹ́ má ṣì ẹsẹ̀ gbé. And that is why I have kept on talking. If you look at the YouTube, you will see I have made so many YouTube messages on agriculture, on electricity, on water resources, on electricity, and many other topics on how and why we were put together and why we should not be together. If you Google my name, Ajala, and most of them are on a Cleveland platform and also on this man's platform, Ade Thomas platform. If you see a lot of resources that have developed in those areas. So what happened was that even there's a particularly famous Yoruba man called Quincy Labulo Davis. I don't know if you heard of him. And he was a very rich man in England. He lived in Kenny area, Islington Angel. He was in the Millionaire Row in the 1840s. 1840s. 1840s, around that date. If you Google his name, you see it. And then he got married to one brilliant young Yoruba girl. Tí àwọn Dahomey tó ń gbé lẹ́rú ní ọmọ Ìgbádò ni. Àìná ọmọ Ìgbádò, ọmọ ọba Ìgbádò ni. Tó ń mú lẹ́rú lọ sí Cotonou. Then one British shipper ló bá rí pé ọmọ her face is bright, it must be intelligent. So ló bá ní òun máa gbà lọ́wọ́ King Gezo of Dahomey. Pé òun máa lọ mú as a gift to the Queen of England. Òun dẹ̀ fún ọba Gezo ní àwọn gift kan on behalf of the Queen of England. Between the time tọ́mọ yẹn wọ ship, by the time tọ́mọ dé London, ọmọ yẹn ti gbébò cleanly. Don't saw like an English king. So yẹn ló impress Queen Victoria tó ní this must be a special one. Queen Victoria was her godmother. No tó dàgbà. Don't fún àwọn kan pé kan Queen Victoria fún ọmọ yẹn sí family kan pé kan bá òun tọ́jú ọmọ yẹn to the highest level. Ilé tí ó ti marry, number 17 Clifford Hill ní Brighton, Queen Victoria ló make it possible. Òun àti Quincy Labulo Davis. If you go to the National Portrait Gallery ní Trafalgar Square, you see their pictures there. Ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n sọ pé Nàìjíríà náà ti wá. Yorùbás from West Africa. So the word Nigeria did not come into use until 1898. But 1897, not to discover Arukwanya, I would say, when the boyfriend, girlfriend, as you said, don't decide pé orúkọ tó ń fẹ́ sọ wá, I will say that so that you hear. Nigritia, no fẹ́ pè wá. So I don't know how that will be sounding now. So girlfriend yẹn ló sọ pé àgbẹ̀ ilé Yorùbá, because wọ́n ti kọ́lẹ̀ inú memoir the Secretary of State for the Colonies, Mr. Chamberlain, ó ti kọ́lẹ̀ pé ó ti take note pé this territory must be called Nigritia. Let's consider it. Ó wá tún kọ́ torí èmi náà kọ́ sínú ìwé mi tí mo kọ. Or it could have been called New Sudan or Niger Sudan or Western Sudan. That's what we could have been called, not Nigeria. So there's no reason we should be proud to say I'm a proud Nigerian. I'm a proud Yoruba man who happens to be temporarily trapped into a Nigeria my forefathers know nothing about. That's my statement. I don't know how you feel. That's the way I see myself. Torí gbà tí mo fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ ní London bíbá náà, gbà tí wọ́n ní where are you from? I say I'm a Yoruba person from Nigeria currently. That was the statement I told my boss. I said, we are not the same people. There are different countries in Nigeria. And so that is it. Mo wá ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣàlàyé fún ọ. Àti ìgbà ni ọ̀gá yẹn bí hàn pé when are you going to have your independence? Meanwhile, àwa ń fara wa sẹ́yìn. Ọ̀gá mi ń bí mi pé ìgbà la fẹ́ ní independence wa. You see, we are our síra wa. So, kí ni birth certificate wọn until 1914 ló ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí bí à Nàìjíríà o.
Kí wá lorúkọ tó máa ń pe birth certificate? I think it would be...
It's a paper of identification. Does that. And then most of the time, nígbà yẹn, only places tó ní àwọn clinics ló ní àwọn bàbá wa ló kàn máa sọ pé ìjọba iná bí ẹ. So wọ́n á dẹ̀ kọ́lẹ̀. That's
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Even up to the 1940s, bó ṣe rí nìyẹn.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ bàbá wa. Mo tiẹ̀ ní ìrírí kan náà torí pé ìyá bàbá mi kọ́lọ̀ ń fọ̀run kẹ́ wọn. She died at 120 years. Torí ilé tèmi ti wá téèyàn bá kú ní 70 wọ́n máa ró òkú yẹn. Wọ́n láwọn oṣù àtàjẹ́ ló pa. Kò ń ṣayé ìsìn tí location mùjẹmùjẹ. Ọmọ 40 wọn náà ń ṣe burial ceremony. Òkú ọ̀fọ̀ Ọlọ́run kò ní jẹ́ ká kú ní wèrèwèrè láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run fún bàbá wa tí wọ́n wà níbí ní ọdún náà lọ́hùn. Èmi wá béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìyá bàbá mi pé ọmọ ọdún mélòó ni yín? Ìyá bàbá mi wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ ó ń dá torí ìlú Ọ̀yọ́ ni àwọn náà ti wá. Ìyá bàbá mi wá ń dárúkọ ọba tí ó jẹ ní ìgbà tí wọ́n bí àwọn. Ìyẹn kí ìyá bàbá mi tó kú láti bá wọn ka oyè ọdún wọn sẹ́yìn wípé ọba báyìí báyìí ló jẹ, ó lo ọdún báyìí báyìí, lẹ́yìn yẹn lọ́jọba báyìí báyìí jẹ, ó lo ọdún báyìí báyìí. La wá ṣí títí dé ọdún náà lọ́nà ìgbé yẹ 2007 la bá ìyá bàbá mi ṣí oyè ọmọ ọdún wọn dájú ní ọdún náà lọ. Ṣé ẹ rí gbogbo wa náà ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń kọ́ wa. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọdé ní ọmọ ọdún mẹ́jọ lèmi ti mọ̀ pé Nigeria is not a country and is not a nation. Ṣé mọ̀ pé wọ́n máa ń kọ́ ọmọdé ní vocabulary. So mo wá wo mini nation torí bàbá mi ó máa ń kọ encyclopedia sílé àti dictionary àtàwọn òwe ńláńlá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Mo wá jókòó ti dictionary, mo wá rí mini nation, mo rí mini country. Ọmọ ọdún mẹ́jọ mo wá sọ pé so what is now this country called Nigeria? Can I say, who are these people? What do they speak? And my father will be quick to say, don't speak Yoruba. I say, my father by Yami, Yami Larami. Yeah, because my daddy wants you to be able to stand with all the sons of the Jack and Jill in the world. I say, even without the language, Èdè Yorùbá ló mà ni ó mà já owó fún mi nísìnyí báyìí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyá mi tó jẹ́ pé oníwò máa sọ. Ó yá, mo tún kọ títí gan mo kéde ìlú mi. Kí ni mò ń sọ ni wípé gbogbo wa náà kọ́ la lè nírú àǹfààní tí Àjọkẹ́ ní, ṣùgbọ́n ibi tó wà lénìí bí mo ṣe máa ń sọ lórí wake up call láàárọ̀ ní orí Dúdú Spree ni wípé ìgbà tá a bá jí òun làárọ̀ wa. Tó bá decide láti jí ní ọmọ 70 ọdún, good morning náà la máa kí ẹ. Ọmọ ọdún mélòó ni ẹ báyìí? Bàbá wa a ní ìbéèrè ni wípé a ti sọnù, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ sọnù? A ti sọnù, ibi tá a sọnù dé ìbáyìí, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ sọnù technology wise? Tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ifáology, tá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa computing, tá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa data science, ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn bàbá wa. Tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé èèyàn gan ń fò, ìgbé pé èèyàn ń fò lójú òfurufú, àwọn bàbá ńlá bàbá wa, àwọn ẹlẹ́yẹ, àwọn náà ń kọ́ ń fò. Ẹ wá wo gbogbo nǹkan tá a sọnù yìí. Tá bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àfẹ́ẹ̀rí egbé, nísìnyí báyìí òyìnbó ti ń ṣe nǹkan tó ń pè ní jacket suit tó lè mú ẹwà invisible. Kí
Yes.
ló wá dé tó fi jẹ́ wípé àwọn àfẹ́ẹ̀rí gbé gbogbo nǹkan táwọn baba ńlá baba wa ń ṣe òun la wá ti sọnù. Mo wo research kan tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa kán ṣe lè sọ àwọn these minerals tó jẹ́ pé bíbá táwọn èèyàn tó ní protein problem now, protein deficiency. How do we convert this mineral so that you will have optimal nutrition? Òyìnbó ń ronú gbogbo kínní. Àwọn bàbá wa ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ àsèjẹ. Tí obìnrin ò bá ló róyún ni ó láṣèjẹ tá ń fún. Ẹni tí kinní kan bá ń dà láàmú. These are science. These are innovations that our forefathers developed. God gave them wheat. He gave our forefathers corn. The corn we have is still at the level of Oki. Their own wheat gets into any store. Wheat wọ́n wà ńbẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ rí ní búrẹ́dì, ẹ rí ní bisikí, ẹ rí ní puff-puff, ẹ rí ní àkàrà òyìnbó. Kí ló dé tó fi báwo la ṣe fẹ́ jáde torí àti sọnù báwo la ṣe fẹ́ sọnù wa.
Sórí nǹkan tó sọ yẹn nǹkan gidi ni nǹkan tí mò ń bá wọn tán jẹ́ bí ẹgbẹ́ mi bá jà nìyẹn. Àwa la dá gbogbo ẹ̀rù. Mo lọ sílé kan tẹ́ pé ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn ó ń sọ fún ìyàwó ẹ̀ pé má ṣe ẹ̀wà ìbílẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ mi mọ́, lọ ra baked beans. Wá ní if you do that, you are denying our farmers the ability to raise capital because on ERBT, if many of us are doing what you are saying, then àwọn ò ní rí ibi tán máa ta ọjà sí. Only it's a very wrong thing to believe that àwọn oúnjẹ òyìnbó nìkan ló dáa. Even first thing tí mo ṣe nílùú ìlú was to look for ibi tó ti ń ta oúnjẹ ìlú wa. Ibì kan wà ní Kilburn, mo mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Òyìnbó ló dẹ̀ ń ta oúnjẹ ìlú wa títí kan ẹran ẹ̀gbẹ́ àti ẹja gbígbẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ń tà. Ewédú òyìnbó ni o. Ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀yà ni tó qualify. Mo ń bá bàbá ẹ̀ ṣe kíni. Ṣé àwọn ọmọ wa lè sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ ṣe irú ẹ̀ nílé? Nígbà tí mo wà nílé when my mom was selling ní kíní shop wọn, máa ń bá wọn jókòó sí tí bá ti dé láti Ìbàdàn lọ bá wọn ní àpò. Máa ń bá wọn tajà. Àwọn alákọ̀wé mo ní kí ni mo kà tẹ́ ń pè mí lákọ̀wé. Ṣé orúkọ mi lálákọ̀wé ni? Mo orúkọ mi ni alákọ̀wé kọ́. Wọ́n á máa wò mí. No, you see, we have to change. Most of us who went to school are the first. Àwa la jẹ̀bi gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń sìn. Àwa la jẹ̀bi. I will say that clearly. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa ò ronú. A fẹ́ máa ronú gbé èbó gbà tá a ṣe èbó. Èbó dẹ̀ wá ń wò wá kán fi wá ṣe ẹ̀yẹ. Pé I'm telling you, àwọn èbó tí mo pàdé pé the Africans seems to want to become like the Europeans when we are jealous of you, that you are a better race than us. Pé to the point that at some point wọ́n sọ pé àwa ní ẹ̀mí ìfaradà àti ẹ̀mí ìdáríjì ju àwọn lọ. Okay, those are some of the qualities tí a ní àti pé wọ́n tún appreciate pé a ní agbára tá a lè communicate pẹ̀lú àwọn spiritual being. Pé the level of our spirituality is far beyond, about 60% above their own. Pé they are just behind. Tẹ́ bá wo site kan máa sọ fún yorubaorganization.com. Ukraine wọ́n ti ṣe. Tẹ́ bá wo gbogbo nǹkan tó kó jọ síbẹ̀. Nípa Yorùbá ní kíní náà wọ́n study wa kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ Israel. The influence of their thinking process influenced by Ifá ló jẹ́ kán bẹ̀ sí develop so many science and technological innovations in agriculture, in water supply, and every other field which I believe we should now copy. So lẹ́bùn ẹ̀ wá ṣiṣẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ wa rí now. Ìgbà tó ń wá wọn wá jẹgúdú jẹrá bí àwọn kí lorúkọ wọn tó ń ṣẹ̀wà láàrin wa. They came to teach our people how to do roads, even though iṣẹ́ tó ń gbà wọn fún nìyẹn. Bí àwọn tẹ́wọ́gbadé tí bá rántí tẹ́wọ́gbadé àwọn òní àsàn and all others tó ń ṣe dìde nìyẹn, because they came to teach our people how to do things, to be dependent. But bàtà di Nàìjíríà tó bá rántí the federal government refused to give this ambassadorial recognition to the Israeli government until very recently. See, each time they want to please us to put us down, please us, yes, federal government is combine, which is not, it's a lie. It is just so bad. Don't happen. And that's why I say we have the power of sovereignty. We have the right to tell our elders that you are not taking care of our future. And if you are not ready to take care of your future, you cannot longer represent us. That's the truth. But because it's like any gold síwájú pé kó rìn lọ láti lọ jókòó sí orí ìtẹ́. Ǹjẹ́ ò ní kó sí kòtò? Orí àràn ló rìn o. Ẹ mọ aṣọ àràn gold, àràn purple oríṣiríṣi náà tọ́ sílẹ̀ fún. A ó mẹ́rin ìjọba, ẹ̀wẹ̀kú ẹ̀wẹ̀lẹ̀.
A ó mẹ́rin ìjọba, ẹ̀wẹ̀kú ẹ̀wẹ̀lẹ̀.
You see, Yorùbá ó ní gbogbo nǹkan láti tọ́jú kíní. Kí n tún wá sọ ọ̀rọ̀ agbára tó ń sọ yẹn. Ẹ mọ Fidel Castro of Cuba, grandmother Yorùbá ni. Kí n sọ summary grandmother ẹ̀ ó ṣe jiná. Ó ní kò sí ẹni tó lè pa ọmọ òun. Anybody tó ń bí láti abẹ́ obìnrin ò lè pa ọmọ òun àfìgbà tó Ọlọ́run bá máa jẹ́ kó jẹ́ pé 623 times àwọn Americans try láti pa. Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá wa ń gbọ́ yín lágbọ́yé.
Ó fi wọ́n ṣe ẹ̀yẹ ni pé you can't kill me until I die naturally. Just stop wasting your time. Agbára Yorùbá nìyẹn. Ìgbà tí Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ di Olúbùṣe tó lọ sí Cuba, ibi tó ti jókòó sí hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì, kíní wá bá Fidel Castro wá bá tó dọ̀bálẹ̀ kí ni ọba sọ pé òun lòun yẹ kóun wá bá bẹ ní kíní State House. Fidel Castro dáhùn pé bàbá òun ò lè wá máa bá òun ní State House, òun lòun gbọ́dọ̀ wá kí bàbá òun.
Kábíyèsí o, kábíyèsí o.
So you see, àwọn mo ń sọ fún àwọn governors káàkiri pé look, ẹ ṣépè sọ́ra yín, ẹ ọ̀dà pé kọ́ba wá bá yín lókè èbó, that is your state headquarters. You are causing yourself. Even if tó bá jẹ́ ilẹ̀ ń sanwó fún wọn, you have no right to order your traditional ruler to come and visit you. Tẹ́ bá ní nǹkan ṣe ẹ lọ bá ọba ní ààfin ẹ̀ ni. You see, àwọn ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tí a ti ṣẹ̀ sílẹ̀ pọ̀. Ó pọ̀. Mo sọ fún kábíyèsí kan ní olóṣèyí òun náà ni. Olóhùn náà máa ń rò wò pé mo ní it doesn't matter pé state government tàbí federal government ló ń sanwó fún yín. They have no right to order you about as if you are ordinary kids. You are not. You have a spirituality that made you the ọba. Mo á sọ nígbà yẹn pé àwọn tí ó tó rò bá àwọn ní ọba tí wọ́n ti jọba, wọ́n á padà wá jọba gidi. Lọ́rọ̀ mi yẹn yé yín because àwọn ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kan ti wà ńlẹ̀ tí gbogbo wa collectively ṣẹ̀. Tá máa jẹ́ kí ó dàbẹ̀ pé olówó la fi jọba ńgbà tí Ifá ò yàn. Àyí Ifá sójú. So all those things we are going to address.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ bàbá wa. Àgbà yín ti dalẹ̀, àgbà yín yóò túbọ̀ dalẹ̀ sí láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá wa kan dá tọ́ mi. Bàbá mi ẹ jẹ́ bá mi mu omi, grandpa ẹ bá mi mu omi. Kí máa kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ wa lórí the first and only Pan-African Media House, It is not the Pan-Africanism that was sold to you before. This one is a redefined one, where we say your language dey represented. Gbogbo èdè káàkiri orílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ òun ni a gbé lárugẹ. Àṣà wa, ìṣe wa, ìran wa kò gbúdọ̀ parun. Torí pé àwọn àgbà bọ̀ wọ́n ní ọmọ tó bá sọ lẹ́nu ó ti sọ àpò ìyàkọ́. Kí a má bàa jẹ́wọ́ òun náà làwa ọ̀dọ́ ṣe ń sopọ̀ mọ́ àwọn bàbá wa. Wọ́n ní tọmọdé bá mọwọ́ wẹ̀ yóò bá àgbà jẹun. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn àgbà rere, àwọn àgbà dáadáa bíi bàbá wa Pa Alex Ajala tí wọ́n wò pé ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ yìí mi ò ní yàn yín ní pọ̀ sí. Ìwọ náà wà níta òun wò wá, dákun darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ibi bá kì í ṣe sobe níbí, àwa ò kì í ṣe èmi ló kàn níbí, àwa à ń ronú ọjọ́ ọ̀la níbí ni. Àwa ò kì í sọ̀rọ̀ àlùfàǹṣá, àdẹ̀ kì í hùwà, kì í ṣe jàgídíjàgan. A wà fún ìgbélékè ọmọ adúláwọ̀ tòótọ́. Kí máa kí àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ wa www.duduspree.com káàkiri gbogbo àgbáláyé. App wa náà wà lórí Apple Play Store àti that is the Google Play Store, Duduspree Radio. Tẹ́ bá ti tẹ̀ sí, ẹ lè follow social media handles wa náà lórí YouTube, Duduspree Official. Ẹ máa gbọ́ gbogbo èdè káàkiri orílẹ̀-èdè adúláwọ̀ níbẹ̀. A dúpẹ́ o, kí máa kí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n ń wò wá lórí YouTube. Ẹ ṣé ìfẹ́ tẹ́ ní sí wa. Àwọn tó ń wò wá lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ àtàwọn tí yóò túbọ̀ máa wò wá, o lè ṣe nǹkan fún YG Media lénìí. Pín kó bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Pín nǹkan tó lè pín lélẹ̀. Ẹlòmíì voice note burúkú la máa pín, fídíò burúkú la máa pín. Eléyìí ló lè pín tó máa ṣèràn ẹ láǹfààní. Tá a ṣe ibi tá à ń lọ láǹfààní. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún máa rán yín létí wípé bàbá wa Alex Ajala sọ̀rọ̀ nípa obìnrin kan tí à ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn tó jẹ́ wípé ọmọ ọba Ẹ̀gbádò ní orúkọ ẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Sarah Forbes Bonita. Òun ni arábìnrin tí bàbá wa ń ṣe àpèjúwe ìtàn ẹ̀ fún wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn. Ẹni tó bá ti ń gbọ́ Forbes magazine ẹ máa mọ nǹkan tá à ń sọ. So àwọn eléyìí ò kì í ṣàwọn èèyàn yẹpẹrẹ. Ìwọ náà ọmọ aládé ni ẹ́, ọmọ aládé ni ẹ́. Wọ́n ní àwọn kan wọ́n ń síkú sí àwọn bàbá. Òkè ẹ jẹ́ kí àwọn mọ̀ síkùn àwọn bàbá wa, wọn kò ní àkọsílẹ̀. Òkè wọ́n sọ pé àwọn bàbá wa mọ̀ sínú mọ̀ síkùn ni awo tí wọ́n ń ṣe. Ibẹ̀ kò ń ṣe awo àkọsílẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n àwa tí a bá mọ̀ nípa Ifá, a mọ̀ wípé èèyàn máa lo ọdún 14 gbáko láti kọ́ Ifá. Yẹn náà ni wípé ẹni tó bá fẹ́ mọ̀ síkù mọ̀ sínú, awo mọ̀ sínú mọ̀ síkù tó fẹ́ mọ̀, wá ìṣẹ̀ṣe lọ, ìṣẹ̀ṣe tòótọ́. Kì í ṣe àwọn psychopaths àtàwọn tí mò ń pè ní human killers tí wọ́n ń sọ fún yín pé babaláwo, they are just fraudsters. Ṣé ti ráwọn owó tí wọ́n ń kó pamọ́ fi ta àwọn ọ̀dọ́ òun náà ń kó sínú sọ́kàwé owó tó ti bu tátá. Ká dúpẹ́ náà pé bàbá yẹn ó dùn wọn bá ṣé bàbá ó ti change owó mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. How they will convert those tattered and dilapidated money now. Owó tó yẹ kán fi ṣe science, tó yẹ kán fi kọ́ iléèwé. Tẹ́ bá lọ sí ìlú Èkó tí bàbá ń sọ wípé tó fi ń pariwo, tó fi ń sọ pé come and see Lagos. You only have to go to Agege to see the Lagos they've built. You only have to go to where else again? Moshiolosha to see the Lagos they built. Go to Ajala when it is rainy season. You will see the Lagos they built. Are you deceiving yourself still there? Talk about other parts of the country where they hire you. They hire you. All over Nigeria. Some of us, we have their data. How much do they give you? 10,000 naira. In fact, the latest was bready 350 naira. Òní wọ́n fún àwọn kan. Wọ́n pín 700 naira fèèyàn méjì. Àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ọmọ aládédé tó bí àlmájèrè. Ṣé a fẹ́ máa tẹ̀síwájú báyìí? Irọ́ ni o. Ìpèníjà wọ́n ní wípé àgbọ́yé o, ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ èèyàn kan ní àgbọ́yé. Yes, àgbọ́yé la nílò níbi tá a dé yìí. I don't think they caused themselves. It is our obas that turn themselves to the servant of politicians. This is one youth. Ó ń sọ wípé àwọn ọba wa ni wọ́n fira wọn sípò ọba. Ẹ má gbàgbé wípé òyìnbó sọ wípé he who plays the piper dictates the tune. So when the politicians are playing your piper, they will dictate your tune. Bá a ṣe ń tẹ̀síwájú bàbá mi, ìbéèrè kan jẹyọ, ó sọ wípé kí ló dé táwọn bàbá wa tí wọn ò ṣe máa fi ọwọ́ sí pé kí a máa ṣe research ètò ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé ìjọba mùjẹmùjẹ àwọn ni wọ́n ṣe wá, bọ̀ tẹ́ bá wo àwọn bàbá wa náà tẹ́ máa ní pé bá a fẹ́ ṣe gbá wọn ò ní fowó sílẹ̀, tá a fẹ́ ṣe tọ̀. Tẹ́ bá rí ọ̀rọ̀ COVID-19 yìí, trillions of dollars làwọn bàbá ìlú Amẹ́ríkà, the true son of the soil in America, tí wọ́n run sí orí research yẹn. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ò rí vaccine kan báyìí mú jáde, wọn ò dẹ̀ kú sí. Ẹ wo metaverse, trillions, ó lóye tí wọ́n invest náà. Àwọn òyìnbó máa ń gbé ọ̀dọ́ wọn lárugẹ, kódà kó má mọ̀, wọ́n á tún lo product yẹn, wọ́n á tún ṣe. Kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé àwọn bàbá wa wọn ò kì í fi ọwọ́ sí pé àfi eléyìí, gbà tí wọ́n bá lọ́lẹ̀ ni wá, ẹ wò ó, ibi iṣẹ́ dé tòrutòru náà fẹ́ rán wa lọ. Ṣé ọmọlúàbí olúwa máa fi iṣẹ́ dé tòrutòru? Gbogbo àwọn musicians wa, wọ́n ti sọ wọ́n di money laundry, wọ́n ti sọ wọ́n di drug dealers, wọ́n ti sọ wọ́n di nǹkan burúkú. Kí ló dé tó ṣe jẹ́ pé nǹkan tó da àwọn bàbá wa bá a ṣe ń sọ yìí, torí nínú ìrìn àjò mo ti ní àǹfààní láti pàdé àwọn mélòó kan tó jẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run ṣẹ́gi ọlà fún, ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ bá lọ bá wọn pé nǹkan báyìí la fẹ́ ṣe, wọ́n máa nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí àwọn alẹ́ ń ṣe dáadáa, ṣùgbọ́n pé kán lè fi ọwọ́ sí kí wọ́n fowó ran kẹ̀kẹ́ yín lọ́wọ́, irọ́ ni o. Ṣùgbọ́n tí àlùfáà kan bá ní ogun oṣó fẹ́ bayé ìran wọn jẹ́, kán kówó wá kíákíá ni. Kí ni ìdí jẹ́ pé ibi táwọn bàbá wa máa ń yára sí ni nǹkan tó wà emotional, tí ọ̀dọ́ ò bá ti service emotion wọn kì í máa ń yà sí wa. Kí ló dé bàbá wa?
Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kò yé wọn. Wọ́n rò pé wọ́n fẹ́ di ọlọ́lá, wọn ò dẹ̀ ní ọlà. Wọn ò mọ̀ pé àwọn ò ní ọlà. Wọ́n fẹ́ di ẹni tó ní dúkìá, wọn ò mọ̀ pé àwọn ò ní dúkìá. Ṣèbéko yẹn mo mọ tàbí jẹ, mo mọ àwọn kan tẹ́ pé about 100 cars ló ní. Ìkan báyìí tí ó ṣaláìsí, Rolls Royce tó ṣe rà tí ò ráyè wọ̀ torí pé ó wà ní ìdùbúlẹ̀ àìsàn tó kú, wọ́n wá wa Rolls Royce wá sí wakekeeping yẹn. You see how bad táwọn èèyàn wa, àwọn Yorùbá tó ń jẹ́ between the age of 50 to 100 tí wọ́n ti ṣìnà. Wọn ò mọ̀ pé nǹkan tán bá fílẹ̀ láyé tó ṣe dáadáa ìtàn wọn ò lè gbé. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ti kọjá tá a gbúrò wọn mọ́. Wọ́n ti fi wọ́n kọrin, kò sẹ́ni tó rántí wọn mọ́. But ká ní wọ́n fi nǹkan dólẹ̀, wọ́n á ní lágbájá ló ṣe kíni fún wa kó tó kú. Nǹkan táwọn òyìnbó ń ṣe nìyẹn. The trust and the research institutes àti gbogbo ẹ̀ tó ń ṣe káàkiri is for the future. Wọ́n á náwó ribiribi sí, kì í ṣe pé torí profit of any, but for the continuity of life in their society. But àwọn èèyàn wa ò ṣe. If you do it, but they are too few. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn kàn kówó, kàn lọ sí tours káàkiri àgbáyé, kàn ná bí èrò, wọn á sanwó wọn. They could charter a whole plane. But when it comes to the future of the Yoruba race, tí wọ́n á tún ní àwọn dá kíní lẹ̀, kí lorúkọ ẹ̀, wọ́n á ní àwọn dá NGO. NGO does not run a country. NGO is a lay in what has already been done. I don't know if you understand what the implication. Tẹ́ bá wo television gbà mí, ẹ rí pé wọ́n ní àwọn ọmọdé wọn lọ ń pọ̀ mí ní ibi tó dánú ẹ̀rẹ̀ àti gbogbo tàbí kànga. Tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe kí ni, ṣé kò sí ìjọba nílùú yẹn? Ṣé kò sí àwọn billionaires tó yẹ pé kán lè ṣe water works, kán lè ṣe kíní reservoirs, kán pipe omi dé reservoirs yẹn, kán tún wá ṣe kíní sorry my throat is dry, kán tún wá ṣe kíní processing, water processing plants láti wá jẹ́ kí n sọ ilé ìtàn, kán ṣe processing plant, kán wá pipe sílé rather than pé kán ṣe kànga síwájú ilé. I grew up to have water flowing in our house. A lọ sí the shower, àwọn bàbá lọ sí bath, àwọn wà ní shower, and that was supplied. And in fact, kíní Ìjù water works tẹ̀ rí yẹn, Yorùbá Darosa ló kọ, kì í ṣe Ìgbò. Ìgbò kọ̀ rà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ní pé àwọn fẹ́ fi gbà tí wọ́n Ìgbò ò tètè kọ because
wọ́n láwọn ṣàlọ́ ẹgbẹ́ àwọn mo máa ronú bí tó ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀.
ìran Ìjẹ̀ṣà ni wọ́n. But gbogbo yẹn láti gbàgbé, ìtàn yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ tún wáyé. That was added plaque kan síbẹ̀ ní Ìjù water works built by Darocha, taken over by the colonial government when the people of Lagos were ready to pay water rates. Initially, àwọn ará Èkó fẹ́ san water rate, wọ́n gbógun ti àwọn Ìgbò. Can you imagine that? I have a document on it here. One of these days, I'll read it to you to see how foolish our people were initially. Àwọn Ìgbò fẹ́ sọ Èkó di tropical London, not for the accessible, but pé tí wọ́n bá wá holiday ńbẹ̀, ṣèbí wọ́n á náwó sílùú wa. Tourism brings profit to the people where that thing comes into. But initially, our people were opposed to it. Wọ́n dá ẹgbẹ́ lẹ̀ láti oppose àwọn Ìgbò, wọ́n fẹ́ gbowó lọ́wọ́ àwọn fún water rate. Omi tí wọ́n fẹ́ fún yín, inú bí yín sí. Gbọ̀gbà tí Darosa ṣe kíní ẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gba tọ́rọ́ kọ́bọ̀, àwọn èèyàn wá rí pé nǹkan dáadáa, èèyàn dúdú ló ṣe. Well, I quite understand that. Bí òyìnbó ṣe gbà ní ẹ̀ tán wá extend ẹ̀ dé Èkó yìí, torí Yaba náà ṣe omi ẹ̀ dé tẹ́lẹ̀. That is Darosa try. So you see, most of the thing is our fault. And I want our youth to understand that we have a great future if we are ready to handle it ourselves. That's what I told Tunde when we used to chat a lot. We need to handle our future ourselves. We need not to look at pé ẹnìkan dá wa dúró. Nobody is dá wa dúró. In so colloquial English. Kò sí ní tó dá wa dúró. Àwa là ń dára wa dúró. So we should wake up to the reality. We don't need Nigeria to survive. We need Yoruba nation to survive. And when Yoruba nation starts, the other African countries that are still in bondage like us will wake up to reality. Ewo Congo is one of the richest countries in the world in terms of mineral resources. And it's also one of the poorest countries in the world in terms of human resources. How do you marry? Yes. How do you marry something? And that's why we are calling for our exit from the amalgamation of Nigeria. It's not a marriage. They created a trading post. They mentioned àwọn wá dá nation lẹ̀, àwọn wá tajà ní wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ fún àwọn friends pé àwọn ti rí bí kan táwọn ti lè máa tajà. Ẹ̀yin friend tẹ́ bá máa wá tajà ń bẹ̀, ẹ̀ ní iye tẹ́ máa san. You can jolly welcome. And that's why some of you will remember SCOA and CFAO. They are French companies that were working in Nigeria even during colonial rule. Kì í ṣe pé àwa la kó wọn wá. It was an agreement because our British this trading post is open to trade by the rest of you, but you are not the owner. Our lani trading is just like one dash of ule. Àwọn yòókù náà wá ṣe kíni àtẹ ọjà wọn sínú ẹ̀. That's how Nigeria is. It's not gbogbo ìta máa ń sọ pé marriage. We are not married. Married kankan. And it's not it's not an idea pé èèyàn méjì tó bá fẹ́ra wọn. It's like téèyàn méjì bá fẹ́ra wọn. If you translate it back, is that èèyàn méjì yẹn ló agree láti wà pọ̀. We didn't agree in the first place to wà pọ̀. The white man created a trading post. Àwọn èèyàn wa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí claim ẹ̀ pé I agree láti wà pọ̀. We never at any point. It's not on record anywhere.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ bàbá wa ẹ̀ṣẹ́ tí rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n ní wípé làáhàn mi náà ni bàtà ń ké ní òtún Ifẹ̀ tó ṣe bí òwe ẹ̀yin bàbá àti ìyá wa tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa. Àwa YGY náà là ń ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ Yoruba Global Youths. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè dẹ̀ ti ràn wá lọ́wọ́ àti pa ẹ̀ka a ní iléeṣẹ́ aláràgbà yìí dá. Bàbá mi. Hello. Ẹ dákun ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n akẹgbẹ́nu iléeṣẹ́ ṣì ń gbọ́ mi. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Olúṣọlá ṣe ń gbọ́ Àjọkẹ́. Okay. Ó dà yín pé òpópónà bàbá. Ó dà iṣẹ́ púpọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n Túndé náà gbọ́ mi. Gbogbo àwọn tájọ wà nulẹ̀. Bí bàbá wa ṣe ń gbìyànjú àti tẹ̀ sójú ẹ̀ jẹ́ kí n máa sọ fún yín wípé Olódùmarè ràn wá lọ́wọ́ débì kan a dẹ̀ ti ní àwọn ẹ̀ka kéékèèké òun náà ni a ṣe ń bá bàbá wa náà sọ̀rọ̀. Ìwọ náà ẹ wà níbẹ̀ yẹn àwọn kan tó ní ìmọ̀ ètò ìṣúná àwọn náà wọ́n kọ́ wa. Àwọn bàbá wa ní ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ bí a ṣe máa ń gbé ohun tuntun jáde òun náà lẹ ti ń gbọ́ ẹ̀. Ìwọ fúnra rẹ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀dọ́, gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyá, kí ni ìwọ náà yóò ṣe láti lè jẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ó dúró? Wọ́n ní pé àwọn òwe kan wà tí ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa pamọ́ òun náà ni wípé there was no marriage in Nigeria, there was no legal marriage. It was a trading post. In fact, if you remember that there is a document to that effect where the Southern Protectorate in Nigeria was sold to the Northern Protectorate. It was a shop that the white man had, and they sold their shop. If our fathers now decided to make the shop their homes and their what is a shop? Because I would not really understand the reason for that marriage, for the lies they told us. They even went as far as giving us religious propaganda. And it's so sad that most of us that were born into most of these new religions, we have decided to go back to our roots. It is not, we are not apologetic about that. We just don't want to become like our fathers are turned to. We don't want to be slaves. Abẹ́ẹ̀rí ìwà ẹrú yẹn, ìrònú ẹrú yẹn ó pọ̀ títí tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn máa lọ sílùú onílùú á tún pera ẹ̀ lálejò tó bá padà dé. Don't you think something is wrong with us? Salamu alaikum. Màá lọ sílùú onílùú wọ́n máa pè mí lálejò ń bẹ̀. Tí n bá wá tún dé ilé màá tún decide wípé àlejò ni mí. Ijó ẹ̀ la ṣe sọnù, mi ò ní dárúkọ ẹ̀ tó ráwọn tí wọ́n ń jẹ tí wọ́n ń fi eyín sẹ́nu, mo ti kí wọn náà wọ́n ti mọ̀. Àwọn kíní yìí ó yẹ ká máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa ibi tí à ń ronú sí, ibi tí à ń yí sí. Wọ́n ní báwo ni wàá ṣe lọ sílùú onílùú? Kódà ọmọlúàbí ò lè rálejò gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọlúàbí kẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ lójú ẹ̀ pé àlejò ni. Kò sí nínú ìran wa, kò sí nínú àṣà wa, kò sí nínú ìṣe wa ní Yorùbá o àwọn ò kí ń tojú ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ mẹ́sàn-án kà tó ṣe bí òwe téèyàn kan bá jálejò ẹ̀ ní sọ pé àlejò lélẹ́yìí àtọ̀ ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ lẹ́tí máa sọ ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ lẹ́tí máa sọ ẹ̀ ní sọ lójú ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ilé wọn á tún sọ lójú yín nígbà tó ń sọ lójú ẹ̀ títí o tún gbà á sórí o tún dé ilé o tún gbà á pé ìyẹn wá ní kí gbogbo aráyé máa pè é o ó mà ṣe o ó ṣe kí n máa kóòtù ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kó ní á ní ó ṣe lọ́wọ́ ọmọ tó ń jẹ ìpẹ̀ àbí iyẹ̀pẹ̀ là ń jẹ ẹ jẹ́ kí a padà wálé ọmọlúàbí ẹ jẹ́ ká jí dìde á wá ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí n máa kí àwọn tèmi ní òwìwí the strategic team náà mo kí yín mo kí gbogbo wa YGYMEDIA mo kí gbogbo wa ṣètìrì èèyàn kọ́ṣẹ̀ ṣé bí mo ṣe ń sọ grandpa Alex èèyàn kọ́ṣẹ̀ lọ Google ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ ó ní ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ó ló wà interesting àlejò kí nǹkan wá decide pa àlejò bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n ṣe títí tí wọ́n fi gba ìran lọ́wọ́ wa wọ́n gba èdè lọ́wọ́ wa wọ́n gba àṣà lọ́wọ́ wa ìwọ fúnra ara ẹ wàá wá sọ wípé o ò fẹ́ sọnù ẹ jẹ́ kí a sọnù wa ká má bàa sọnù ìran tó ń bọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Owólabí ṣé o ti dé àbò òṣìṣẹ́ lọ jẹun ẹ̀gbọ́n Owólabí ṣé o ti dé ó kàn sábọ̀
ẹ má bínú mi náà ló fa ségesège yẹn wàá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run àti
nẹ́tíwọ̀kì ẹ̀kọ́ nẹ́tíwọ̀kì kò gbúdọ̀ fa ségesège o a máa ṣe lè tó dáa nẹ́tíwọ̀kì tiẹ̀ dáa bá àti ẹ̀rí ẹ̀gọ́ físíkálì ayé ẹ nínú ẹ̀mí.
ẹ jẹ́ tí ọ̀rọ̀ nẹ́tíwọ̀kì ẹ̀ tẹ̀ ń sọ àwọn bàbá wa nílé wọn jókòó síbẹ̀ the Center for Communication Monitoring ní Lanlate wọ́n wó kalẹ̀ wọ́n gbé lọ sí Kaduna Adẹ̀dákẹ́ jẹ́mọ̀ the Earth Satellite Tracking Station for Communication was set up in Lanlate because Lanlate bore the physical structure there. There is very little interference in that location, so it was the best location to set it up. As at that time, but no monitor gbogbo kíní ẹ̀ka kiri Nigeria those days. As at now, mo wá ń bèèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn kan tó mo mọ engineer kan tó ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n náà ti pack it up. It's a village on its own. You see, we have lost a lot of things. So we are going to reclaim that place and rebuild our own satellite tracking station, which will be connected to our own kini. Why they did that was to be able to connect fiber optic lines into homes throughout the country, starting from Western region. That has been destroyed. So for you to have proper internet connectivity to you need landlines. And any landlines, even landlines, Nigeria could have been the first country in the world to have its own communication on fiber optic platform. Our Sumitomo loan set up in the 70s. Center one Ibadan to Mankakiri. I always go to investigate things, new things that are done. Even me, Louis, I go to centers of innovation or that to know how and what we can adapt for our new Yoruba nation. So people be our Japanese don't say when I want to solve for federal government pay. You are on the edge of communication innovation. And if you accept, we will install fiber outlets, and we will not dig too many trenches, and we will not have accidents like it is occurring now. That our single fiber optic cable will carry more than 10 times the copper cable down low, and which is even bulkier. Oh, boy. And that was under Muritala. There was never a time these people wanted us to grow. Under Muritala, most of our top civil servants were sacked on the basis of like we wanted that. We've accepted too many wretchedness in our land. And Baba ma fẹ́ justify ara wa, a sọ pé àwọn Ìgbò ló ṣe, Ìgbò ló dúró lẹ́yìn. They have an old plan which started from 1804. We are going to get the lands of the infidel. Ìwé yẹn ọ̀sìn bí bá ká exact statement yẹn fún yẹn. Wà ní lẹ́kẹ̀jì. Pé àwọn fẹ́ deep Quran into the sea. Some of you must have heard that. And that is why symbolically, the longest road along the Atlantic Ocean in Lagos is Ahmadu Bello Way. Symbolical dipping of the Quran into the sea. That is the first stage. That is the first stage of the achievement. 20 Sole in 1804. 1804. 1804 to 1904, 100 years. 1904 to 2004, 200 years. Over 200 years ago, nothing plan will go. Why? And meanwhile, our young men and women are dancing the dance of death with them. I say politics. We have a political accommodation with the people who do not want our future. One day, if you saw stuff, we refuse to listen. December 12, October 12, 1960, Baliwa said that they are going to make sure that we do not have a control about our future. And they are going to use the middle belt people as cannon fodder to control the rest of the country. So if you look, the people of the middle belt look for Julami in those days. There are many things we need to talk to each other. We used to campaign to tell our people we don't need Nigeria to survive. We have our strength and power and everything that's along Lodumare to become the Mole Adulawo Agbaye. Let's stop so far.
Thank you very much, sir. A dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa. Bí a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n inú ilé ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní lọ sórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára tí wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀. Tìwọ́ tó bá tún wà nílé, o lè mọ̀ nípa èèyàn yìí tí à ń pè ní Thomas Mensah. Thomas Mensah jẹ́ ọmọ ìlú Ghana, wọ́n pè ní Ghanaian American, a chemical engineer and inventor. This is a special show that will help you to become better. This one is, we are talking about innovation and thinking forward. Ọmọlúàbí, a nílò láti jí dìde. And 1,000 naira, 20,000 naira, that's not what you need. You need the future, and the future is here. Please, if you love your girlfriend, share this show to her. If you want your girlfriend to be a better mother, by the time you people finally get married, so just share. Ètò tó lè pín lélẹ̀ fún. Ìwọ tó bá dẹ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́ boyfriend yẹn, àwọn ọ̀dọ́ la wà ń bí. Share this show to your boyfriend. Kọ́rọ̀ wa kó má dàbí àwọn girlfriend and boyfriend kan wọ́n kúkú fún yín lórúkọ tẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà. So ẹ̀yin náà lè parapọ̀ kẹ́ ṣe better, kẹ́ undo the evil that has been done on us. If you love your wife, our Young Wives Association of Africa, mò ń fún yín o, dúdú spree. YGY ibi tẹ̀lé wà nìyẹn o, tẹ̀tí máa ṣúọ̀. Ibi tó ṣúọ̀ rèé, gbogbo episode gbé sókè gbé sílẹ̀ yẹn. That's not what we need. And all the fathers that are not ready to move, we would sọ̀rọ̀ sókè tomorrow. Comrade Owolabi, àwọn ní comrade ẹnu mi àgò. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Owolabi, we are going to sọ̀rọ̀ sókè tomorrow. The youth are coming to sọ̀rọ̀ sókè. We want to ask the fathers to either move movement méjì, it's either they move forward or they move sideways. Hey, tomorrow's caption, it's either they move forward or they move sideways. It's either they move forward or they shift and let us see the next road. Sọ̀rọ̀ sókè láago méjì ọ̀la Yoruba time. The youth will be coming here to talk. YGY náà ló tó ṣe. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
And if I may add to your discussion tomorrow, èmi á fẹ́ kẹ́ bá àwọn gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn àtàwọn àgbà àti ọmọdé, including myself, to say that we have not done well to direct the future of the youth of Yoruba land. That some of us decided to close our eyes to the truth of what is called development, research, and innovation. Some young ones in those days, Nile Berekini, in my age group, myself inclusive, I was doing a lot of scientific innovations. So teacher me, I know my mummy lọ sí school kan ní Èkó tó attached mọ́ the school of the Yaba College of Technology. It was called Yaba Science Secondary School. Baby, lawyer Kinwa. When this is 1960s. Ìgbà tí wọ́n débẹ̀ tí ọ̀gá mi débẹ̀ wọ́n ní quota Western Region ti tán. Wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ quota o. Ìgbà tẹ́ rò bí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ quota, ó ti wà níbẹ̀ tipẹ́. Táwọn Northern and Eastern Region tó make sure pé a débẹ̀. Meanwhile, we were struggling to be what we are. We are very hardworking, but most of our elders were not thinkers. If they were thinkers, they would have made a case that, look, if you are preventing our people from doing this, then it means the country that we are inherited from the British should be dissolved. Let everybody, I told the Adobairo Tororonyo Wabam in London, on the basis of the book, I co-wrote with one Baba Kolon Forunke from the Southeast, Baekine. He said that the book was sent to Obasanjo through the Attorney General. Attorney General Fulani. It took 3 copies license through Attorney General. It took 1 copy and sent it to the Adebaro. At least key is spreading the message. After having read the book, the man sent a person to me. Pay, what can we do? What are we going to do based on what you are arguing? That was his question. So I'm going to send a verbal answer, which I did. Pay, look, it's best for all of us to go our separate ways so that you in the North to run your country as you wish under your language, culture, and tradition. And those of us in the South will do the same thing. And then we could now come to an agreement of cooperation separately. That was what I told him. And that's why some people in the North know about Alex, me, but they have not met me. Even by Timba Lole Mumanso, at the airport, I tell you where Tumulo, Manso to Mumokwe, Molod married, or Malale, no one is going to touch me. Tomorrow bound, let dami duro, let dami duro, because I'm saying the truth. Udodolo magbawale. Imi obayin jakpe nkowo je. It's not my pot of tea. That's not the issue. The issue is that I say kono kolukaluku ma lolote. Láàrin wa taba de tó ń kówó jẹ, nígbà taba ti múlẹ̀, kò ní lè kówó jẹ now. Owó àpẹ ló lóun fẹ́ kó jẹ àbí. It's just like Botswana. Ìlú elédè kan ni. And that's why they are progressing rapidly. Go and check it out. Botswana. Àwọn ìbò morúkọ yẹn pé tó ń pè wọ́n ní Botswana land initially. Ìgbà tí wọ́n gba òmìnira tó wọ́n dẹ̀ change padà sí orúkọ tí àwọn alálẹ̀ wọn fún wọn. So you see, We have a right to call for the dissolution of Nigeria. It's not something hidden, because Nigeria was not created for us. It was created by the British as a trading post. And why I say that is that it was not created as a nation for us. They only came to trade amongst us. And they also invited other Europeans to come and trade amongst us, which I have mentioned earlier. So that we should understand, basically. And the fact that we are not a common people. We are a Babel, I'll keep on repeating, until we understand that. A Babel is an aggregate of a separate nation. Orílẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀, wọ́n fún wa ní orílẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Àwa wá fẹ́ yí padà, a fẹ́ sọ pé àdìkan náà, báwo la ṣe lè dìkan náà? It's against God's law. Even tá bá sọ ní èdè wa náà, à sọ pé ìkan náà ni wá. Ṣé mo lè lọ sọ fún Fúlàní pé ìkan náà ni wá? Ṣé ó máa gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo sọ lédè Yorùbá? Ṣé mo lè lọ sọ fún Ìgbò pé ìkan náà ni wá? So we have been deceiving ourselves for this long. It's over 62 years now. We should realize the future of the Black race rests in the fact that we have to redefine ourselves to our different ethnic nationals. We are not a tribe. One tribe. We are ethnic nationals that have been put together in rigid political landscape called Nigeria or Congo or all those other countries in Africa. That the people are struggling to have a meaning of what they are. And in both countries, there's one man to call it to talk about these African countries should not have been put together in the first place because they don't understand themselves. They speak our language.
Ben, ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ bàbá wa. Wọ́n tẹ̀ sọ nǹkan kan gan. Wọ́n sọ wípé ìwé bàbá wa, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ tí ń gbádùn bí bàbá wa ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ látàárọ̀, ẹ lọ sí www.wordcat.org, ẹ máa rí ìwé wọn níbẹ̀. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Owólabí, ṣe fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ sí
i? Because we are trying to reprint another copy now.
Wọ́n tẹ̀ ti fi link ṣọwọ́ sí wa. Wọ́n ti rí kan ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tó wà nílé aléyàn kan tó ń bá wa ń wa. Ó ti rí kan. Ẹni tó bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ìwé yẹn, ìwé wọn, ẹ lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ wa. YGY a máa fún yín, YGYMEDIA. Ẹ tẹ̀ sí nọ́mbà wa, a máa fún yín ní link yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá wa. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Owólabí, over to you.
Ẹ ṣé gan-an. Màmá wa Àjọkẹ́ Àdé, àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín fún àìlétẹ̀dì nígbà tí mo lọ. Àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa náà tí ó wá sí orí ètò náà lọ́dẹ̀ wá kọ́ wa ní àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tí a ní láti mọ̀ àti àwọn nǹkan míì tí pé ó wá important fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí a ní láti mọ̀, because àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ó pé tí máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín pé àwọn history míì tí pé àwọn ò tẹ̀ tí ìgbọ́ rí pé èní gangan làwọn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbọ́. Àwọn ọ̀tọ̀ míì tó yẹ pé ó fi bò fún wa tó yẹ pé wọn ò sọ síta fún wa, ó pé tí máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín pé ẹ ṣé gidi gan pé ẹ tún wá là wá ní òye fún àwọn nǹkan míì tí a mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Òun náà lẹ ti gbọ́ lẹ́nu àwọn bàbá wa yẹn tó fi ṣàlàyé fún wa àwọn benefit yẹ pé tí a bá gbalẹ̀ wa náà Yorùbá nation tí yẹ pé gbogbo a máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀, because ó ti sọ lẹ́sẹsẹ àwọn nǹkan tí a need láti put in place. Bí a ṣe mọ̀ ètò èní ní research and innovation, àwọn nǹkan míì tí yẹ pé a máa ṣe tí yẹ pé a máa put in place, because àwọn nǹkan míì tó ṣiṣẹ́. A kọ́kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa free education, a ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa agriculture, a ti sọ̀rọ̀ ní road network, tó yẹ pé a ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa even health sector náà. A ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa many things tí yẹ pé àwọn bàbá wa tí ó mẹ́nubà yẹ pé àwọn náà ni ó sọ̀rọ̀ ń bẹ̀ tó sọ fún wa bá ṣe lè put everything in place. Ó dẹ̀ ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí àwọn adarí wa náà bó ṣe ń ṣe yàmàyàmà. Sorry pé mo lo word yẹn pé wọ́n ṣe yàmàyàmà. Bó ṣe ń gbó
ó tọ̀rọ̀ ló sọ, ó tọ̀rọ̀ ni. Ẹ má jẹ́
wọ́n ṣe ń kó àwọn owó wa tó yẹ pé àwọn ń kó sápò tó yẹ pé wọ́n fi ń ra àwọn nǹkan míì tó yẹ pé wọ́n fi ń bùkà sí àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù tó yẹ pé wọ́n fi ń yán wọn lójú. Òun náà ni àwọn bàbá wa náà ti sọ. Lórí sọ̀rọ̀ sókè lọ́la bí sísá wa madam wa ṣe sọ Àjọkẹ́ Àdè, a máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó yẹ pé àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tó yẹ pé wọ́n máa mú ṣe tó yẹ pé a máa fi jẹ́ kí ètò náà tó ṣeé ṣe la ṣe máa put gbogbo in place in order tó yẹ pé a máa fi rí àṣeyọrí ní gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí a plan láti ṣe lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà. Bí ẹ ṣe mọ̀, àwa náà nìyẹn, àwa YG wa tẹ̀mọ̀ sí wa pé change and transform. A sì ní ìdáwọn ọ̀dọ́ tí yẹ pé máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, jẹ́ pé a máa fi jọ move ètò yìí náà síwájú. Tó bá jẹ́ any professional bí a ṣe mọ̀, wá sọ́dọ̀ wa, wá darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Tó bá jẹ́ ò ní anything gọ́sẹ̀ wá, a ní àwọn ohun tó yẹ pé àwọn olùkọ́ àtàwọn professor tó yẹ pé wọ́n kọ́ wa ní àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ ní gbogbo ọ̀nà tí a fẹ́ mọ̀, tí o wish pé okay, nǹkan báyìí ni mo fẹ́, nǹkan báyìí mo fẹ́ ṣe, àwọn kọ́ wa níbẹ̀. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, ẹ pe nọ́mbà wa, ẹ lọ sórí website wa, www.yorubaglobalyouths.com, pé ẹ máa bá wa ń bẹ̀. A tún wà lórí Dudu Spray, bí a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ibà, ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa lórí Dudu Spray FM. Tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ síbẹ̀, ẹ máa gbọ́ wa bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀, bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń ṣe program yìí nìkan la ti ń ṣe, à ń ṣe oríṣiríṣi program lórí ètò wa náà, jẹ́ pé ẹ lè máa bá wa ká lọ, jẹ́ pé mo dẹ̀ wá sure pé ẹ máa gbádùn ètò wa ní ìpẹ̀rẹ̀, ẹ dẹ̀ máa gbádùn ẹ̀, because à ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí pa esport. Nínú gan lórí Dudu Spray, à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa eré òṣùpá. Bí bàbá wa ṣe sọ pé ní ayé ìgbà yẹn, jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa ń sọ story fún wọn, jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa kọ́ wọn ní story, jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa sọ nípa eré òṣùpá fún ọ bí ìtàn àti àwọn nǹkan kan. Ó wà lórí Dudu Spray. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gbọ́ tàn, ẹ máa bọ̀ níbẹ̀. A máa tó mú wá sórí YGY program náà, bọ̀ à ń ṣe ètò lọ́wọ́ náà ni. Àwa náà ni àwọn ọmọ YGY. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ gbogbo àwọn tó darapọ̀. Ṣọlá, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Alex Ajala tí ó wá sórí ètò wa lẹ́yìn tó ti wá dá wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí àwọn nǹkan tí a ní láti mọ̀. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ káàrọ̀-o-jíire, gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ nígbà tó wà ní ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà náà, pé ti máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín pé ẹ ṣé tí ẹ wá lẹ́yìn, tí ẹ wá kọ́ wa ní àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Màá tún dá padà sọ́dọ̀ Àjọkẹ́ Àdè bí ó sì fẹ́ ní nǹkan láti sọ tí a tó.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ìdúpẹ́ kì í tán, wọ́n ní fọmọ tó bá mọ̀ọ́re. Àwọn èèyàn wọ́n ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa, kódà wọ́n tẹ̀ ń sọ pé kí gbogbo ẹ̀ má tiẹ̀ tán ni. Àkórí ìwé bàbá wa Alex Ajala ni Southern Nigeria, The Case of Self-Determination. O nílò ìwé yìí o. Àwọn ìwé kan wà tó jẹ́ wípé o gbọ́dọ̀ gbé sílé fún ọmọ ẹ. Tọ́rọ́ ní tọmọdé ò bá bá ìtàn yóò bá àrọ́bá, àrọ́bá sì rèé bàbá ìtàn ni. Tó ṣe bí òwe, òun náà la ṣe, wọ́n ní ọmọdé tó bá mọwọ́ wẹ̀ yóò ṣe kí ni, yóò bá àgbà jẹun. Adúpẹ́ o, adúpẹ́ o, adúpẹ́ pé òkun tó ṣe bí òwe bàbá wa mọ́ lóore. Inú wa dùn wípé ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Sọ̀rọ̀ sókè, àwọn èèyàn tẹ̀ tí lọ ń sọ, wọ́n ní sún sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ àbí kó tẹ̀síwájú. Mo mọ̀ ká àwọn graphic editors láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti pàtẹ́wọ́, wọ́n ní sún sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ tàbí kó tẹ̀síwájú. Ìyẹn là ń sọ fún àwọn bàbá wa.
Àbáyín jà ọ́, ẹ sún sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, àbí kẹ́ tẹ̀síwájú.
Ẹ ṣe púpọ̀ bí tẹ́ ẹ ti gbé wa dé o, ẹ sún sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Àfi kọ́ bá wa tẹ̀síwájú, tó ráwa máa tẹ̀síwájú ni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ìyẹn la máa sọ̀rọ̀ sókè lé lọ́la, torí pé gbogbo nǹkan tó ń dàrọ̀ ẹ̀ràn láago 2 Yorùbá time, àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ló ní. Kódà ṣe rí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ yẹn bọ́tẹ̀ bá ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá wà láàrin ara wa, ó tún yàtọ̀ sí bá ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ táwọn bàbá wa bá wà ńbẹ̀. Wọ́n ní Aunty Dudu Spray is just refreshing to hear, we keep listening. The beauty is, àwọn olùkọ́ tẹ̀ wà ní orílẹ̀ Áfíríkà tẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé wọ́n ní èdè tí wọ́n yàtọ̀, tó tún yàtọ̀ sí àwọn èdè tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ wọ́n sí. Orí Dudu Spray lẹ ti lè gbọ́, torí iṣẹ́ tí Olódùmarè fi rán wa nìyẹn. torí wípé nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe another colonization ò fẹ́ ṣe ẹni tó bá fẹ́ mọ the other colonization yẹn the latest one ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Dúdú Sphere máa gbọ́ níbẹ̀ Àjọkẹ́ Àdé aago 5 West African time láàárọ̀ rí ìdí tá a fi máa ń ṣe ní àkókò yẹn ni pé àkókò tí àwọn baba ńlá bàbá wa máa ń dìde lórí ẹní nìyẹn láyé àtijọ́ ìwọ tó bá máa ń sùn di aago 8, 9, 10 wọ́n ti gbé nǹkan gbẹ̀yìn o àwọn baba ńlá bàbá wa wọ́n ti máa ń jí lákòókò yẹn wọ́n á ti bá Olódùmarè sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n á ti gbàgbó lura ó fẹ́ gbàgbó lura darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Dúdú Sphere Young Girl Àjọkẹ́ Àdé ọ̀rẹ́tì kò easy ṣùgbọ́n à ń ṣe náà ní ìran tó ń bọ̀ là ń ṣe fàdúgbò lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Alex Ajala jẹ́ èèyàn kan tó jẹ́ wípé inú mi ń dùn àwọn bàbá tínú mi máa ń dùn láti mọ̀ wọ́n fi bẹ́ẹ̀ pọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin ẹ jẹ́ bàbá tòótọ́ bàbá tó dáa ká máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ tó dáa àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ tó ń tẹ̀síwájú àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ YKTV àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ Dúdú Sphere LLC àwọn náà sọ ibẹ̀ yẹn ọ̀dọ́ ẹ̀ máa lọ síwájú tẹ́yìn náà bá wà níbẹ̀ yẹn tẹ́ jẹ́ bàbá tẹ́ jẹ́ ìyá rere tẹ́ rò pé ẹ fẹ́ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ a nílò ìrànlọ́wọ́ nítorí pé nǹkan tá a gbé dání yìí iṣẹ́ tó yẹ kí àwọn baba ńlá wa ti ṣe ó dàbí iṣẹ́ àádọ́ta ọdún la fẹ́ ṣe láàrin ọdún kan ṣe mọ̀ wípé àyà wa ti bẹ́ sílẹ̀ ó ti bẹ́ sí aré ni a nílò ìrànlọ́wọ́ ẹ kàn sí wa ọ̀nà oṣìṣẹ́ ọ̀nà lè fi kàn sí wa bí irú eré òṣùpá tá a fẹ́ máa ṣe tẹ́yìn náà bá mọ àwọn òwe ayé àtijọ́ àwọn àlọ́ àpamọ̀ àpagbè àwọn bàbá wa ló máa ń pa àlọ́ fún wọn máa ń pè léré òṣùpá láyé àtijọ́ ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí ò sí bàbá tó máa pàlọ́ fún wa tí ò sí ìyá tó máa pàlọ́ fún wa mọ́ bla bla blue 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 tó lọ ń sọ yẹn wọ́n máa dùn lábù ó yẹ kó máa fi wá pàlọ́ fún wa ni mo kàn máa ń ronú pé kí ló dé tó ṣe jẹ́ wọn l'Àjọkẹ́ Àdé wake up call ni mo tún ti ń ṣe yẹn ẹ̀gbọ́n tó bá fi mí lẹ̀ máa sọ lọ ni ẹ jẹ́ ká kásẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ torí láago 2 ọ̀la aago 5 àárọ̀ ọ̀la ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá alẹ́ ló yìí máa jẹ́ ní Washington àìmá wọlé aago 2 náà àìmá wọlé ìwọ tó bá ní data ò ní data máa gbọ́ Dúdú Sphere ìwọ tó bá ní data díẹ̀ wò wá lórí YouTube channel wa Dúdú Sphere àṣelẹ́jọ́ wọn inú wa dẹ̀ dùn ara wa náà ló ṣe ọmọ ọkọ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ṣe wẹ́bsáìtì ó kò dẹ̀ ní ó jókòó tì ó kọ́ lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan and we are in the process of developing ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan náà wà tá a ti ṣe fún ilẹ̀ wa
that is true. That's good.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ àti ṣe tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa wẹ́bsáìtì ibi tí wọ́n fi ń gba owó àpapọ̀ àwa náà là ṣe Olódùmarè ló ràn wá lọ́wọ́ ìtorí pé a ṣe débi tá a ṣe dé bá dẹ̀ tún máa fi lé àwọn èèyàn lọ́wọ́ a ní àwọn teenagers ọ̀dọ́ wẹrẹ tí wọ́n ti lọ ń kọ́ kódì ní iléèwé gíga nílùú Amẹ́ríkà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ìwọ náà ò wà nílé ó wà ní ibikíbi tó bá wà tó fẹ́ kí ọmọ ẹ kí ó tayọ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tí ó tayọ la wà ń bí àwọn ò yan ẹnikẹ́ni nípọ̀sẹ̀ àwọn ò dẹ̀ ń ṣe nǹkan kan based on emotion we deal with fact and we sọ̀rọ̀ sókè on it sọ̀rọ̀ sókè tomorrow it is either move forward or you shift wọ́n ní súnsẹ̀gbẹ̀ àbí kò tẹ̀síwájú I'm going to wrap up with that ẹ̀gbọ́n Owólabí over to you thank you sir.
ẹ ṣé gan-an màmá wa Àjọkẹ́ Àdé fún ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ bá wa sọ ń bẹ̀ ẹ ṣé gidi gan a lè dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa ètò tí a ṣe lé ní a máa ṣe ní ọ̀sẹ̀ẹ̀sẹ̀ la máa mú wá research and innovation tí yẹ pé a máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn nǹkan bí àwọn technology bí lẹ́yìn báyìí sì a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́. Next week, a tún máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa maybe free health, agriculture àti àwọn infrastructure tí yẹ pé a need ní ilẹ̀ wa náà, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà tí yẹ pé a máa fi jẹ́ tí economy wa tó dìde tó dẹ̀ dáadáa. A máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí many things technology many aspects yẹ pé àwọn máa sọ̀rọ̀ níbẹ̀. Bàbá wa Àjàná náà la máa gbé wá bàbá wa Àjàná náà la máa gbé wá sórí ètò náà jẹ́ pé lọ́sẹ̀ẹ̀sẹ̀ wọ́n máa fún wa ní àwọn nǹkan tí yẹ pé a máa ṣe tó yẹ pé a máa ní láti improve lórí ẹ̀ tá máa innovate àwọn nǹkan wa àti àwọn àṣà wa àti èdè wa bí àwọn àṣà wa míì tó yẹ pé a ti gbàgbé pé a ṣe innovation bẹ́ẹ̀ tó yẹ pé ó ní bá ṣe máa ṣe tó yẹ pé a máa ṣe ní bó ṣe ń ṣe nǹkan sìn tó yẹ pé a máa ṣe ní ìgbàlódé yes mo gbà ìgbàlódé a máa sọ di ìgbàlódé tó yẹ pé ó máa dùn tó yẹ pé àwọn náà máa lè sọ pé yes a máa ṣe mú yọrọ pé àwọn ọmọ adúláwọ̀ náà ni àṣelé because àwọn ọmọ adúláwọ̀ a ní nǹkan tó tó àti ọpọlọ tí a lè fi ṣe nǹkan púpọ̀ ọdẹ mọ̀ wá ní àgbáyé àwa náà nìyẹn a sì bẹ àǹtí wa ṣe sọ Àjọkẹ́ Àdè a sì ní ìdáwọ èèyàn tí yẹ kó máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tí yẹ pé professional tí yẹ pé ó lè kọ́ àwọn èèyàn ní nǹkan kan àti àwọn tí yẹ pé àwọn tó mọ̀ kó fẹ́ kọ́ ìmọ̀ náà bó ṣe ṣe náà wọ́n lè wá sí àárín wa tí yẹ pé a máa kọ́ wọn òun náà la máa fi movement síwájú tí yẹ pé a máa fi jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ lọ bó ṣe yẹ kó lọ a máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa sports náà a máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa sport ní èdè Yorùbá náà ẹ má gbàgbé a dẹ̀ tún máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn àṣà wa ìtàn àwọn àṣà wa tí yẹ pé ó máa ń mú bí àwọn èdè tó máa fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà yẹn tí yẹ pé a máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀ náà lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan tí yẹ pé tẹ́ bá wá sórí YouTube channel wa ẹ máa bá ń bẹ̀ òun lẹ́rẹ̀ sí pé ẹ dẹ̀ tún lè gbọ́ wa lórí dudisplay bí àti wá ṣe sọ Àjọkẹ́ Àdè àwọn ẹ̀mẹ̀lì tó wà ń bẹ̀ a dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lórí àwọn tí gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ kí ètò ilé yìí tó ṣeé ṣe a dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Alex Ajala because àwọn náà lọ tún wá tó tún jẹ́ kí ètò yìí ṣeé ṣe gidi gan ẹ̀pọ̀ tó wá láwà ní ìyè àti àwọn nǹkan míì tó yẹ pé a ní láti mọ̀ àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín sà a fẹ́ parí ètò náà
gan ni inú mi dùn pé mo parapọ̀ mọ́ yín torí tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá sí ẹnìkan jẹ́ àwádé tìtorí yín ni ohùn mi ti lè dà tìtorí ni ohùn tọ́lọ́run lódùmarè fún mi tó fi lè ní pé bá àwọn ènìyàn ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ torí ìkan náà ni wá bí ṣe máa ń sọ èèyàn mi ni gbogbo yín èmi náà èèyàn yín ni mí so ìkan náà ni wá mi ò ń ṣe ìkan náà pẹ̀lú Fúlàní tàbí Ìgbò àwọn èèyàn tí mo mọ̀ àwọn abínibí wa tá a jẹ́ olóríṣun kan náà elédè kan náà oníwà kan náà oníwà ọmọlúàbí ẹni tó mọ iye dúkìá kì í ṣe irú àwọn tí wọn mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ dúkìá mọ́ a máa ṣètò àlàyé yẹn ní next time tí bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ bíi next week but ní program yìí ní ọ̀la màá fẹ́ wà ní background kí n gbọ́ bẹ ṣe ń ṣe but I will not contribute to that program.
I'm going to forward the link to you this night.
So I want to be in the background to see how you have developed, and that will help me to know what I can add to it next week. Ẹ ṣé gan ni mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Àjọkẹ́ olóhùn iyọ̀ ni máa pè é torí
mo ń tẹ̀lé yín náà ni o mo ń tẹ̀lé yín àwòkọ́ṣe ẹ̀yin bàbá rere báyìí náà là ń tẹ̀lé ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Ẹ ṣé ó dàbọ̀ ọ̀nà ẹ jẹ́ kí n mú.
àbọ̀ tí ẹ tó lọ sà ẹ má bínú sà ó fẹ́ tẹ́ gba àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa ní diaspora àti nílé níyànjú kékeré kan tó yẹ pé àwọn náà máa mú lọlé tí wọ́n pé àwọn náà máa lè mú dání pé nǹkan báyìí mo fẹ́ máa ṣe fún ilẹ̀ wa ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà tí à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ náà fún development àti innovation.
Nǹkan tí màá sọ ni pé màá fẹ́ kí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa tá a bá ń sunkún a máa ń ríran tá a bá ń jó àmọ́ ibi tá à ń jó lọ màá fẹ́ kí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa kán máa farabalẹ̀ wo nǹkan kan tó ṣe ìgbà tó bá farabalẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan tó lè dá ṣe láyé yìí wàá rò lọ síwájú wàá rò lọ sẹ́yìn ẹ má máa sọ pé history ni tẹ bá ń bá èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ tó bá ń sọ history ẹ fetí sí ibẹ̀ lẹ máa ti kọ́ ọgbọ́n tẹ máa lò fún nǹkan tẹ́yìn náà bá ń rò torí nǹkan tèmi náà ṣe nìyẹn láti kékeré nígbà tí grandfather mi bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ní primary 3 mo máa ń jókòó tì wọ́n mo máa ń gbọ́rọ̀ wọn àti ìgbà yẹn inú mi dùn pé ọmọ ọdún mẹ́fà ni Àjọkẹ́ náà jẹ́ tí wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí question validity ìlú tán ní wọ́n bí òun sí. Ìgbà yẹn mo rò bí Àjọkẹ́ máa sọ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà bí mi sí, ò kìí ṣe Nàìjíríà. I believe that's what he must have been saying. That was what I said myself. A kàn wá Nàìjíríà ni. Mo fẹ́ káwọn ọ̀dọ́ mọ̀ pé wọ́n pa wá pọ̀ ni fún ọjà títà, wọn ò pa wá pọ̀ fún ìlú ṣíṣe. Àwa la fọwọ́ ara wa fà pé a fẹ́ di ìlú kan náà ní 1953 o. Tó kẹ́yà tètè mọ̀ yẹn. Tẹ bá fẹ́ àlàyé yẹn, ẹ bá wo first kíní tí mo ṣe ní 26th of September ní 2020. Ó yìí wà lórí YouTube. It's a speech paper, the reason for amalgamation. Èmi àti ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan la ṣe. And then there are others tó wà níwájú. Many of them, màá try láti fún ní link yẹn fún àwọn programs yẹn. Wọ́n pọ̀ díẹ̀ o. Bọ̀tẹ́ bá farabalẹ̀ bí ṣe sọ, ṣe bá ń wò lọ́kọ̀ọ̀kan, á fún yín lálàyé àti òye àti ìmọ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tí mò ń tẹnu mọ́. Ẹ̀yin náà lè dìde bí ọkùnrin, akọni ọkùnrin àti akọni obìnrin pé ìlú tó ń pè Nàìjíríà ó tó gẹ́. Olúkálùkù máa lọ́nà tẹ̀. Mo sọ yẹn fún àwọn leaders náà. Kẹ́yìn náà bá mi bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ. Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣé gan bàbá wa, dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. A máa fi ètò náà tì sí ẹ̀gbẹ́ kan ní tèmi tó yẹ pé a máa tún pàdé ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Lọ́sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ bàbá náà la máa tún gbé wá tó yẹ pé a máa tún sọ nípa oríṣiríṣi tọ́pìkì míì tó yẹ pé ó máa tún là wá lóye, a máa dẹ̀ tún mọ àwọn nǹkan míì tó yẹ pé a máa tún ṣe. A máa tún lọ sí research tó yẹ pé ó máa tún mú àwọn nǹkan ìwúrí wá tó yẹ pé ó máa mú àwọn nǹkan mèremère wá fún ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ náà tí à ń sọ ń pẹ̀ náà. Bàbá náà ló máa tún next week. Ẹ ṣé gidi gan. A máa tún pàdé lọ́sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Ẹ ṣé, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹ má gbàgbé àwọn ọmọ yín náà YGY náà nìyẹn. Ẹ lè tẹ̀ sí wa lórí Facebook, ẹ lè kàn sí wa lórí Twitter, ẹ lè kàn sí wa lórí Instagram, ẹ tún lè kàn sí wa lórí YouTube. Àwọn nọ́mbà wa wà ńbẹ̀, ẹ pè wá, ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ dẹ̀ tún lè lọ sí www.yorubaglobalyouths.com. Ẹ máa rí wa ńbẹ̀. Ẹ má gbàgbé a wà lórí dúdú space náà tí yẹ pé ẹ lè tẹ̀ síbẹ̀, ẹ máa gbọ́ àwọn program wa live tí yẹ pé ẹ máa gbọ́ oríṣiríṣi program náà la máa ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀.
Dúdú space, okay.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, oríṣiríṣi program la máa ń ṣe níbẹ̀ tí yẹ pé ẹ máa lè kàn sí wa, a dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́.
Ṣé ẹ lè kàn sórí platform mi?
Yeah, sure, màá fi ṣọwọ́ sí yín sà, màá fi ṣọwọ́ sí yín sà, màá fi ṣọwọ́ sí yín, ẹ ṣé gan.
Torí bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ ti fẹ́ ṣe program lọ́la.
No, tó ṣe orí ẹ̀. A máa ṣe lórí ẹ̀ náà, but a máa forward the link, a máa fi ṣe ọ̀la, a máa forward ẹ̀ sí yín, a máa forward ẹ̀ sí yín sà, so ẹ máa lè join
I'll just be, màá kàn wà ní background ni, mi ò ní dá sọ̀rọ̀ yín.
Okay sir.
Ó wà important sí mi, màá fẹ́ mọ bẹ́ ṣe ń ṣe sí. That's why tí máa join ní ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa pè mí pé kí n contribute ẹ̀jọ̀.
Okay sir, ẹ ṣé gan sir. Ẹ ṣé gan sir. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo tí ẹ wò wá náà, because tó bá sí ẹ̀yin kò sáwà, ẹ̀yin náà lẹ ń jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe máa tó ṣe ń ṣe. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ olúkálùkù wa tó yẹ pé ó ń wò wá, tí ó ń take time wọn tó fi ń wo program wa. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. A tún máa pàdé ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Ẹ má gbàgbé sọ̀rọ̀ sókè wà ní ọ̀la ní aago 2 Yorùbá time ni a máa ṣe. Ẹ lè pa wa, ẹ join wa ń bẹ̀ tí ẹ pé ẹ lè join wa fún program náà. Ẹ náà lè wá síbẹ̀ tí ẹ pé ẹ wá sọ̀rọ̀ sókè, ẹ máa sọ opinion yín, ẹ máa sọ nǹkan tí ẹ fẹ́. Ẹ ṣé gan. A tún máa pàdé ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Ẹ ṣé gidi gan. Ó dàbọ̀.